this. Fresh off the Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. Where niggas get gunned down and left like guns just for fucking round. This ain't accounting for you bitches to come around.
What up? What up? And welcome to another episode of the unofficial podcast of the National Football League, the world-famous and critically acclaimed 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, my dear friend and co-host Braden Bowler. Braden, how are you, man?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Excited for the future, David. A lot of stuff in store. This movie that we just did just gave me so much hope for the future.
All right.
Now I'm ready to take on life, headstrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah. How are you doing, though, bro?
I'm doing well. Weird start to the morning.
Yeah.
As I was telling Braden when I got here, I had a post-shower shit.
Ugh.
Never good. Never good. And it's not like it wasn't a while after the shower. It was like I was still wet when I sat down on the seat. And like you're kind of moving around on the seat. It's the fucking worst.
The toilet paper gets wet so easily.
Yeah, like it's bad. It's not good for anybody. But I'm not gonna let that be me.
It's like, where do you go? Where do you go from there?
My post-shower shit doesn't define me, guys. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna push on. I'm gonna make it a good day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record a podcast.
Oh,
you guys might have noticed there was no ad at the beginning of this. Got a lot of other shit we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I thought, if we can shave 4.5 to 5 minutes of me rambling about Subway, yeah, let's do that.
I mean, I adore them, so it's hard for me to say otherwise. But
It's understandable. Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys saw.
So you're talking about the Oscars, right?
You already know.
Yeah, so guys, huge news at the Oscars. Tony Hawk was there. He was fucking walking on the stage.
I almost
You
lost
were
it.
going to say Tony Hawk, were you?
No.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think you were, and I wanted to make sure that joke was said.
That was brilliant,
Dude,
David.
Tony Hawk. Fucking showed up presenting awards and shit.
So I'm not trying to be some piece of shit actor, but I didn't watch the Oscars. So I missed that part.
Bananas. We're recording this on Monday morning.
Yep.
Which historically we almost always have.
Yeah.
And last week we were like, let's do it on Sunday.
Let's do it
Sunday night. Yeah. We'll do it Sunday night. It'll get out like late Sunday night. The audio will. We'll get the video up a little earlier on Monday now. It'll be great. We finish recording the podcast. We start uploading everything, and we hop on our phones, and we're like, oh, Will Smith fucking slapped Chris Rock.
Well, David, I'm sure you got a bunch to say, too, about it. I mean, being a comedian and all.
Don't call me a comedian.
Yeah. Don't call me an actor, I feel
put me in the same boat as Chris Rock. I think Chris is if I think comedians, I think David Breen. That's my guy.
Goddamn right.
That's my guy. I historically show up at comedy clubs and bump other comedians, but never David Breen.
Never
David Breen.
No.
I'll bump Mark Maron, but if David Breen is on, I wait my turn.
There you go.
It's insane that happened. Dude, so Chris Rock, another reason why he's just better than me. If I was Chris Rock, I don't even hesitate. He started a tour the weekend after. I cancel that tour. I start wearing a neck brace everywhere. I say I can't do it due to emotional distress, and I'd be like, and I would have made $8 million on that tour, so I'd like Will Smith to pay me that out. It is 100% how I would handle this.
Oh,
I would be so petty.
Yeah.
Chris Rock is like, whatever, man. I'm going to go do my tour. I'm going to go live my life. And, Chris, I was listening to the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project. Whisper JRVP. There we go. And Anthony Jeselnik was talking about it. He's like, they were both super famous. They're both a lot more famous now because of it. And he's like, they're going to do a Super Bowl commercial next year. They'll do something where they both make millions of dollars off of this. And I hope they do.
I definitely think that's the case for Chris. I don't know if that's the case for what. Definitely got more famous, and he's always going to have a very successful career no matter what because he's fucking Will Smith. but there's a lot of people hating on Will Smith for what he did.
Yeah, but it's still press.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of people hate
attention.
Yeah, a lot of people hate Jake Paul.
Yeah,
but Jake Paul is a fucking superstar because of that.
True. Jake Paul does use it though.
Yeah. And Jake Paul's not on the level of Will Smith. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, but like Jake's able to use it for it, like, to his advantage.
Sure.
Will Smith is so the reason why he slapped Chris, I believe, is because
Chris wouldn't keep his wife's name out of his fucking mouth.
That's it. That was it. Well, I totally think that this has just been a built-up of emotions for Will. It's like your body can only build up as much tension before you express it. And that's not saying it's warranted for what he did at all or in any such way. I'm saying that's where that was like his breaking point or something, to where I think as well, like, yeah, like I've listened to so many people talk about what and why Will Smith did what he did, and I agree with everyone. And I just think,
everyone,
bro, like when all the comedians I listen to talk about it, they're so on point, and a lot of them were just going on too about the fact that this is about his ego and showing how fragile his ego is, saying because of the way that his relationship has formed with his wife and the way that he's probably been viewed, like the way that he is aware of his perception, that the way he's being viewed by the audience is playing like a toll, I feel like, on him. Like, I think he is very self-conscious of the way he's coming across, not as always, but because of what happened with him on Jada's show, where she's talking about, you know, being with some other guy. I think that's all played, and like that's just all tension that's built up to this point. And he's been like looking for something to try and, because like that moment wasn't against Chris Rock, it was against like everyone. I feel like, or in his mind, against everyone up to that point. What he's read online, the way he thinks he's being perceived by everyone from what's happened since Jada. I think that was all built up just to that point.
It's built up way longer, because like, who was Jada with before Will?
That too.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Will Smith is the guy who followed Tupac in Jada's life. That's a tough follow. It's a tough act to follow. I don't think many people can do it.
And you gotta understand too. I even watched an interview where Will Smith was talking about that, about how jealous he was of Tupac, and how he is, you know, this nice rapper who's from Philly, and Tupac's this bad boy, you know, kind of guy. Like, it's
Tupac charismatic as fuck, good looking. I'm sure he fucks like a stallion.
Like, and Will Smith just,
like, that's who you're compared to your entire relationship. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, for sure. And dude, you could just tell, like, Jada, she kind of wears the pants in the relationship, it seems.
Probably. So Will Smith laughed at the joke and then looked and saw her rolling her eyes and unhappy, and he was like, all right, well, I gotta fuck somebody up. But that
just shows that she, like, he's dependent upon the way that she reacts to things and the way that he is viewed by her.
Exactly.
So he has to react to the way that she is reacting to things to get the validation that he wants or warrants, or that he thinks is going to give him what he wants.
Yeah, it was bananas. He saw that and it was like, well, she won't respect me if I don't do something here, which is insane.
I think it's her and other people. Like, I think there's a part of him that thought other people...
He had to prove himself there.
Prove himself, exactly.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah, to like, and it just shows how weak and fragile, like, his... But this, I don't want to, like, pick on Will either. Like, I honestly...
I do.
Yeah, I kind of do, too.
It's fucking insane. You go to like, Chris Rock's job was to go up there and roast people in the crowd. I don't think Chris Rock was like, oh, Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia, I'm going to make a joke about her having alopecia. She had fucking short hair, and he's like, short hair. Who else had short hair? G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see you. Like, so, just fucking, like, quick, like, whatever. And then he was getting ready to move on, and he was like, oh, shit.
So there's so many things wrong with that. Like, she has alopecia. So her immune system is attacking her hair, and like her hair is like dependent upon like her organs and this and that, and like her immune system is like, it doesn't know. It's not like regular genetic alopecia like most men have, where they slowly lose it in a certain pattern in a certain way slowly over time. She just has like a little patch on the top. I guess I saw her talk about it one time, but what happens is just random spots on people's heads. Well, the the immune system will attack the hair follicles. But I'm not trying to take anything away from her, but like, I don't know, dude. Like the G.I. Jane joke, if anything, you could see it as G.I. Jane is this woman who defined what feminism is.
Yeah.
And like created almost like a more equal playing field for women and the way that they're viewed.
So that's not at all what Chris Rock was saying with the joke, though.
Well,
like it's crazy to be like G.I. Jane, she's a role model to young girls and stuff like. Because like if that's what Chris Rock was saying, that's another story.
He was obviously making the comparison of the hair.
Bald, and he's like,
he's making the comparison of the head, but at least it was a comparison of the head to someone who had what G.I. Jane had.
Sure, he could have said, "Hey, Mr. Clean." Like, he could have been ridiculous.
Could have been way worse.
He was
with a
very
bald
reserved.
joke.
It wasn't bad. But here's the thing: any comedian. If you're in a big theater and there's a comedian up there telling jokes and you get offended to the point where you want to fight the comedian, it is always your fault.
100%.
If I'm at some fucking dive bar down in Fort Lauderdale and there's people there getting a drink, they didn't know some douchebag was going to be there doing 3 to 5 minutes of stand-up comedy, and they get offended by my joke and they want to fight me, sure. Sure.
A little bit more warrant.
Because they didn't know this was going to happen. They went out not expecting to hear my fucking shitty jokes. Like me being super offensive and shit. Like that isn't why they went to the bar that night. They're like, who the fuck's this guy? He has a microphone? What's going on over there?
Yeah, so
you go to the Oscars and Chris Rock makes a G.I. Jane joke and you hit him, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, so obviously we're like trying to, go over why we think Will acted in the way he did and what's going on behind the kind of scenes between him and his relationship. But like, regardless, there's no fucking reason ever to think that you're in some type of position to do something like that. And then the way that he walks off with his back turned to him, it blows my fucking mind. He walks off like he's literally, it's just like Joe Rogan said, like as if he's in a fucking movie. As if he thinks like the whole world is just
Wild,
his
Wild
playground,
West,
which it kind of is. But like,
wiggity, Wild, Wild West.
It's absurd. And then to sit down and
I really believe in his mind when he walked off, he thought the crowd was gonna go nuts. He thought they were gonna be like, "Yeah, there we fucking go, fuck him up!" Like that is what he thought the reaction was gonna be.
And what's crazy?
He walked like I wish he would have done the fucking Mekhi Phifer no. I wish he would have been like, "Come on, you don't like it? Come on!" Like I wish he would have done that.
It's so funny because there was such a mixed read of signals by everyone. Because even when Will Smith's coming back, Jada's like laughing as Chris Rock makes his joke. Like, I just got smacked the fuck out of by Will Smith. Yeah. She's laughing. She doesn't even fully understand what's going on.
Chris Rock did not say the F word. He's a professional.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's on ABC. He knows he can't say the F word.
Yeah. What am I talking about? But yeah, definitely like such a weird mix and then Hollywood, spineless as fuck. The fact that no one, and I'm not saying like if I was there, I'd stand up and be like in the back corner, "Hey, Will, you're wrong." Like I'm not going to do anything to a degree, but like you can't just like allow this man to just sit there. Like at least I'm gonna call the producer over and be like,
He sat in the front row for the rest of the show. Like that's bananas to me that they didn't make him leave.
Like if I'm in the back and no one's doing anything, at least I'm gonna go and try and talk to, I don't know, bro. Like I'm not gonna be the one to be like, I'm never the one to be like, oh, he should be in trouble or anything. But like, dude, at some point there's got to be a line.
Whoever runs the, because like, and not to make, but like.
So this producer came out.
Amy Schumer went up there and she made awful jokes. Amy Schumer kind of sucks.
Yeah.
She made like the Kirsten Dunst joke or something like that. Like them not removing Will Smith. Like Kirsten Dunst storms the stage and just starts hitting Amy Schumer. Like,
so one of the main producers, I watched this interview and he said that he was trying to speak on behalf of Chris Rock and never spoke to Chris Rock. So he lied about speaking to Chris Rock in this interview. So now this is the day after. And he's talking about...
Sorry, not to cut you off. Guys, this was... I just finished a nice glass of Candid cold brew coffee. They're in West Palm. They're great. They just do cold brew. You can go get a growler. It's $20 your first purchase.
Okay.
$15 every time you refill it. It's 64 ounces. Delicious. Some of the best cold brew I've ever had. They also do, if you're a business owner, they do kegs. They do kegs that they deliver to your business, and they have sensors inside the kegs where they get an alert if it needs to be refilled. And then they're just like, hey, we're going to come out tomorrow and refill the cold brew keg. That cool with you? And you're either like, yeah, hell yeah, come refill it. Or you're like, oh, no, we're good. It's fucking great. Candid. Give us money. Just give us some money. Or, fuck Braden. Give me free cold brew. Just for life.
Sounds good.
Candid coffee. Go on, Braden.
So, I don't even remember what I was saying.
The producer was trying to talk on
Oh,
behalf
the producer.
of Chris
So
Rock.
the producer. So he was in an interview and he was trying to speak on behalf of Chris Rock when apparently they never spoke. And he was trying to say that that they spoke briefly in the back, but also because of Chris Rock's demeanor, that he thought that he didn't want to make Will Smith be escorted out, so they went and asked him, hey, are you willing to leave? And apparently Will Smith was like, no. I swear to God, this is what the producer said in the interview. And then the next day, Will Smith hit him up and like apologized, and now Will Smith has apparently resigned from the Academy Awards, so he can never be nominated again for another Oscar. Which, yeah,
Who gives a shit?
yeah, it's the main thing. Who gives a fuck? But it is wild. I think the best thing would be to see them in a boxing match, or just Chris Rock go on and stand up and just roast
See them in a boxing match? Chris Rock is 80 pounds lighter than Will Smith.
You're right.
Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. Will Smith would beat the fuck out of Chris Rock. That would not be the best thing.
Well, I guess the best thing then would to see Will Smith go and try and do that to someone else. Because can you imagine
the
if
best
that
thing
was...
would be Will Smith and Chris Rock, like they challenge for a boxing match, and Chris Rock is like, but I get to name a champion, like Game of Thrones. And then Francis Ngannou comes out.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're fighting this guy.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
But can you imagine, though, if it was anyone else other than Chris Rock? That's a big point of it, too, is that they've been friends for like 20, 30 years or some shit. Like, he probably wouldn't have done this to almost anyone else. I mean, like, think about it, dude.
So
Like,
I don't know that they've been friends for 20 to 30 years. Chris Rock has kind of...
I don't want to say, like, I know if they've been friends, but they definitely...
Chris Rock, they know each other. Chris Rock
Yeah.
kind of takes shots at Will Smith when he has chances at award shows like that. Like if
I've seen
Will Smith's
yeah.
in a crowd, like he kind of takes a shot at him, but like
I just seen that
dude,
they've been like friendly with each other.
If I was
since.
hosting an award show and you were in the crowd, I'm taking a shot at you.
Dude.
Without a doubt, I'm taking a shot at you. Like,
yeah, like who? Yeah, and like usually you would kind of think though that the taking the shots is less personal because you feel more comfortable almost making a joke about someone that you're more comfortable with.
I'd feel comfortable doing. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it to like Nick Hoffman. You know, because I fucking hate that guy.
Exactly. You know, or Stone Cold Steve Austin comes up and gives you a fucking stunner
Best
on
case
stage.
scenario. Best case, dude. So we're switching to that. WrestleMania was this weekend.
Oh, I saw little snippets of it.
Stone Cold was fucking amazing. It was. So like he's not as good and athletic as he was. He had like a 20-minute match, and then did all the beer shit. It was really just an ad for.
Because doesn't he have his like own beer?
It was really just an like it was great. They kept like putting beers on the ground, and the camera would zoom in on the logo, and it's like Stone Cold IPA or something.
You think Stone Cold was like, "Hey, pay me $50,000 less, but you got to get close-ups
but
on
do
all
ads.
my cans
for sure." But like, I didn't know he had his own beer.
I think I heard him say that one time in an interview.
It makes
or
so
something.
much sense that he does.
God.
Like,
oh my god!
If any professional athlete's gonna have a beer, it should be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What's up with his labeling? I really hope right on the can he's busting two open and like fucking throwing it down his mouth.
No, it has like the skull, the Stone Cold skull.
Okay, nice.
And it says like Stone Cold IPA. What? Or no, it might say Steve Weiser. It might say Steve Weiser. It says it's something crazy like a play on words with his name, and you're like, this guy's the man. He's the greatest wrestler of all time,
They should
according
be called
to Braden.
stunners.
No, it shouldn't be called stunners.
Come get your stunners.
You know, it should be called stunners. I'll sign off on that. Let's shift gears back to
Will Smith.
back to acting. Not Will Smith.
Okay.
I think we've covered Will Smith.
Yeah, I feel.
You see what's going on with Bruce Willis?
Yeah, it's sad.
That is fucking wild. But I want to take shots at
How
the
do you say that?
Razzie
Is
Awards.
A
I don't know.
aphasia?
He
Aphasia?
laughs uncontrollably.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's stages
'Cause
of
I
dementia,
heard-
and he has like laughing
Yeah.
bouts.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different parts of it.
Yeah, I bet.
But the Razzies were gearing up because Will Smith made like 10 movies this year, and turns out he got paid $2 million per movie, and it was like 2 days of filming for all of them.
I do have to say,
good for him.
I do have to say one other thing. The guy King Richard that he was playing, that he won the Oscar
We're
award.
going back to Will Smith
Just for 1 second.
Yeah.
The guy that he was playing, that he ended up winning the Oscar award for right after he slapped Chris Rock, and was speaking about protecting family, all these things that he learned from King Richard. Apparently, King Richard came out and made like a tweet or some shit and was like, "I do not condone any of the actions that Will Smith did." Like,
Richard Williams is Serena and Venus Williams' father.
Yeah.
That's who the movie was about.
Yeah.
So like he
I
was
don't know why I kept saying King Richard.
he was he was protecting his 2 young black daughters who were trying to get in to fucking tennis, which is almost exclusively a rich white person sport.
Especially at that time, yeah.
He's protecting his 2 young black daughters from the discrimination and all that shit they were going through. That is not even close to the same as
Yeah.
Will Smith going up on stage at the Oscars
Having
and
a
hitting Chris
fucking
Rock.
ego cuck problem, and
It's fucking crazy.
dude, it's wild.
So
and didn't apologize.
Yeah, he's like, I was protecting my family. I got to play King Richard, and I got to play Richard Williams and learn to protect my family, and that's what I got to do tonight.
But then gets like a standing ovation from everyone. That's
insane. It is insane. It's
like,
fucking,
dude, if
and
that's the club, if that's the club Hollywood, I don't give a fuck, bro.
So
I'm here to create art, not to suck fucking dick.
So
if everyone's sucking Will Smith dick, I don't fucking want to be a part of it. Sorry.
you're not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not.
And you don't have to be. That was fine.
Thank you.
That was,
I just saw your face and I was like, oh, maybe I let David down.
I do want to be a part of that club. I'll take the money. I'll be a part of that club. Braden's weirdly prideful.
Yeah.
And I don't get it sometimes.
It's because I'm such a
I
fan
do.
of Vegeta.
Hollywood, if you're watching this, I'll drink kids' blood. I'll do whatever I got to do. Give me some of that sweet, sweet Hollywood money.
They're going to be like, that's that
all.
fucking guy.
That's all. Braden wanted to make art. I just want to make money off this podcast. That's why I do the Subway ads. That's why I was like, hey, Candid, check it out. Braden's like, let's make some fucking art, man.
I'm like, hey, I got to look into Candid Brewing now. I never drank coffee, but I need to know the ingredients because I'm very prideful. And
Cold brew coffee is incredible.
yeah,
Yeah.
Organic.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know
It's
either. I don't
It's
care.
beans, but it's slow. It's slow brewed. It's very smooth. It's great. It's got a
Let's see
great
how
taste.
ridiculous I could be on.
Great taste, no aftertaste. What was,
There you go.
What was I getting at though? We're back to Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Razzies, they were having an award section. They do it kind of yearly. It's worst, and it's an actor's name in a film. They were doing worst Bruce Willis in a film. And it was like the fucking 10 movies he did this year. They were going to pick which one was the worst. And then it came out that Will Smith is retiring from acting due to his health condition. And they rescinded the awards. You fucking cowards at the Razzies. Stand by it. Stand the fuck by it. The man has to retire from acting, and you're going to rip an award from him? He was probably excited to get that award. He was like, you know what? I'm going out on top. I'm getting a Razzie.
Is that like some form of discrimination of some sort? Like,
No, it's crazy what you just said.
because
You're saying it seriously. They're an award
I'm
show.
kinda joking, but
They're an award show where they shit on people, and they were like, this is gonna be in poor taste. Like the award show hasn't happened yet, and they were just like, we're gonna not do that award at this show. It's why do you have to make me? Because you get serious, and you have to make me go from being over the top. What's wrong with the Razzies? Why are you pulling the award? To being like, no, you're crazy. You're wrong. How do you do that to me? How are you that fucking naive to where you get me to be like, dude, come on. Like, what do you... No, it's not discrimination. Fucking Bruce Willis didn't want to win the Razzie Award for being awful in films this year.
bro, like,
Fuck you, man. Well, Bruce Willis...
What if he did, though?
He didn't. All
What
right?
if he finds it offensive
he
that
fucking
they
didn't.
took his opportunity? That's my point.
Good. I hope he does, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Bruce
if you're
Willis.
listening-
Bruce Willis, don't listen to Braden. Nah, you're not listening. You're Bruce Willis. You're not like, let me check the 5 6 Kings episode on The Gray. You think there's a chance? We did Die Hard. You think there's a chance he's like, and we watched this fucking podcast on a shitty Liam Neeson movie? Like,
I don't know, bro.
There's no way he's doing this. Get well soon, Bruce Willis.
No, yeah.
Hope to see you in films.
Absolutely, yeah.
It'd be lying if I said you're one of my favorite actors, but Pulp Fiction's one of my favorite movies. You were fantastic in that.
No, he's got a very iconic, cool, tough guy persona.
I hope we get to see you in movies again.
He wrote the book on that type of person, that type of character.
No, he didn't.
What? You don't think so?
John Wayne did.
Or like
the Duke.
Brando or something.
John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne. Yeah.
John Wayne, not Brando. No, John Wayne is the correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Elvis was a hero to some, but he didn't mean shit to me. Because that dude was flat out racist.
Apparently.
That's a motherfuck him and John Wayne. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it. Say it.
Motherfuck John Wayne.
No. Motherfuck him and John Wayne. I'm black and I'm proud.
Motherfuck him and John Wayne. I'm black and I'm proud.
That's Public Enemy #1 right there, guys. Do you know that song? Fight the Power, Public Enemy.
Bro, what the
all right.
Fight the power. What?
Just making sure.
Yeah. Damn. I know my music.
Yeah. So Bruce Willis, get back into acting, and let's talk about the Dolphins. We're running long right now, but my eldest brother Brian told a friend of his that is a Dolphins fan, and he was like, "Oh, what are your brother? I know your brother's a Dolphins fan. What do you think about all the moves they're making?" He's like, "Well, actually, David has a podcast, and he talks about the Dolphins in the beginning on most episodes, and I haven't been, and I didn't plan on doing it today because we had a bunch of other shit to talk about, but."
Big news.
The future lawyer of the 5 6 Kings, when we inevitably start getting sued, is listening to this right now, and I can't not talk Dolphins. So, good offseason so far. I like the moves. Teron Armstead, one of the best left tackles in football. Connor Williams, a good left guard. I think Mike McDaniels is going to be a very good coach. The staff he assembled is excellent. They're punting on this year's draft, which I kind of respect. They traded a lot of the picks they have this year for Tyreek Hill. They just traded Devontae Parker, which I knew they were going to trade him this offseason. They traded him to the Patriots. They traded him in a 5th this year for a 3rd next year. I feel like they could have waited and got a better value than that for him. But looking at the team, realistically, Devontae Parker would have been anywhere from the 3rd wide receiver to the 5th or 6th wide receiver. It's Tyreek Hill's #1, Jalen Waddle, and then Cedric Wilson, Lynn Bowden, Preston Williams, Trent Sherfield, River Craycraft. They have receivers who know the system. They have talented receivers. Devontae's good enough to where he would have made the team, but where the fuck's he fit in? Who knows? But I think the offense is going to be very exciting. They brought back everybody on defense.
So what's the plan? Is the plan next year we have a good shot, or is it next year we develop certain things and we try to get more picks or something like that and do something the following year?
I think they have a very good shot this upcoming season.
Okay.
They're built right now to, if Tua is a good starting quarterback in the NFL, they're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. Have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And that's what I kind of like the way they did this. They've gone all in this year in a sense, but also next year they have 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, 2 third-round picks.
Ooh.
So this is Tua's year, which it kind of always was going to be. It was either going to be Tua's going to sink or swim this year, and then they have extra picks next year, and they're going to go get a quarterback if he's not. But I because Brian Flores was a good coach. I don't think most of these moves would have happened. I think they would have kind of had the same old shit on offense. And if Tua failed, there still would have been the question of, did they do everything they could to field the team around him? And the answer would have been no.
But this time you think?
Dude, they went out. Tyreek Hill's one of the...
Isn't he like one of the fastest?
He's the fastest. He's the most explosive player in the NFL. He's one of the... I'll be reserved and say he's one of the 5 best receivers in the NFL. Teron Armstead, when healthy, is one of the best left tackles in the NFL. They're bringing back Jalen Waddle. They're bringing back Mike Gesicki. They got better in the run. They brought in Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. I think they'll draft a running back with one of their picks. They're getting better in the backfield. This is legit. And like, this is what you should do when you have a quarterback on a rookie contract. The fact that it was like, let's draft O-linemen, let's draft wide receivers, and let them all develop together, like, that's a shitty way to do it, because by the time all of these players have developed and they are what they are,
you're trading some of them. Some of them are getting injured.
But like, you can't sign all of them to extensions. Like, you have a salary cap.
Yeah.
So if Tua's a franchise quarterback, great, you sign him to an extension, but you can't pay him and
all the other.
They drafted Austin Jackson in the first round. They drafted Jalen Waddle in the first round. Like, you can't pay him and Austin Jackson and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
And like, so the team is kind of just mediocre with good players, but
so they should have known right in the get-go they're not going to be able to keep this whole team the entire time for them to develop to this point that they need to.
And when so like, the way contracts work in the NFL, Tua is on a rookie contract where he's against the salary cap. It's like $4, $5, $6 million. Like, it's not, for quarterbacks, that is not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Watson just signed a contract where he's making, it's 5 years, $230 million.
Yeah,
so that's what was that, $46 million a year?
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
When you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, and like, good teams do it. The fucking Seattle Seahawks did it. The fucking Chiefs were doing it. The Bills did it. Like, with Josh Allen, like, that's, you get veterans around him, guys who have already developed and will help him develop. And then if Tua's a franchise quarterback, when he's on his second contract, that's when, like, you don't re-sign Tyreek Hill. You don't re-sign fucking Teron Armstead. Like, you let those guys go because the veteran quarterback should be able to elevate the rest of the players on the roster.
Yeah.
And not a bunch of rookies who are also developing having to lean on Tua, who came into league with a hip injury that should have ended his career.
Yeah.
He has a shitty O-line around him.
So you kind of flop veterans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is how every team should build themselves. And that's what good teams do. Like the Patriots. When Tom Brady was there, and, like, it's a different story in Tampa Bay right now because it's fucking, like, they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and all these people. But, like, when Tom Brady was there, it was, other than the year they went out and got Randy Moss, like, it was Wes Welker, who's very good, but he cost them a second-round pick. It was Julian Edelman, who was a late-round draft pick. Danny Amendola, who was a street free agent. Like, Deion Branch, who was the veteran early in Brady's career and then later on, like, re-signed cheap contract. Like, they had an elite quarterback and they were like, great, he'll elevate the play of everybody else.
Yeah.
Let's focus on defense. Let's build a strong defense. The offense will always be fine because we have Tom Brady. That's how a good NFL organization should work.
Because you're trying to, like, balance yourself out. You can't have all of your chips in one pile kind of thing.
Because, like, the Dolphins were always under the salary cap, but it's because they had 8 rookies starting.
Yeah.
They had fucking, like, almost their entire roster was made up of guys on rookie contracts or, like, deals in free agency. And all that did, like, Tua late in the season, he's throwing it to fucking Isaiah Ford and Tommy Lee Lewis. Like, he's got, and I don't want to say nobody and shit on them. And, like, Matt Collins, I love Matt Collins, but he's a special teamer who occasionally can go out and play some offense. And I didn't like him leaving, but, like, I'll take Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson over Matt Collins any day. And that's kind of, like, for Tua's development, that's what he needs.
Yeah.
He needs talented people on offense. And, like, if Tua's not the guy, next year they have 2 first-round picks. They go get a quarterback, and they have another guy for the next 5 years on a cheap rookie deal. And I believe now with Mike McDaniel at coach, Chris Greer's a good GM. People shit on Chris Greer. I like him. He's very good at what he does. He drafts pretty well. Like last year's draft, he got 3 studs, and then Liam Eichenberg, Hunter Long, who might be okay. Chris Greer is very good at what he does. And I just think I'm very excited for the future of this team. That's, you either believe in Mike McDaniel or you don't for that route. But I think he's a very good coach. I think he's very smart. I think he'll put the offense in a position to win. We have good coaches on defense already. Defense was good last year. We brought everybody back. I'd like to see them add a linebacker, either like Alexander Johnson's still available. The Dolphins have some cap space now. I'd like to see them go get him because they run the risk, unless they're going to move up in the draft to get a linebacker, they run the risk. They don't have a first-round pick. They don't have a second-round pick. They have I think 102 is their first pick, which is deep. They run the risk of a decent linebacker not being there. So I'd like to see them go sign somebody. But
basically, you're saying like their offense is so strong now.
The offense is built around Tua's strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the offense is going to be very good this year.
So now just try to find something to balance the defense out.
Yeah, and the defense is good.
Yeah.
Defense is good, and like last year when they were playing with a lead, the defense was unstoppable. Mm. It's when the offense isn't really moving the ball and the other team's allowed to mix it up. When they play with a lead and the other team has to throw the ball, like Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, it's the best cornerback tandem in football. They have Javon Holland at safety, Brandon Jones, Jerome Baker can cover if he needs to. Eric Rowe's still on this fucking roster, and they can blitz and mix up fucking blitz packages and get after the quarterback. They're so fucking dangerous on defense if the offense is going to be able to run the ball and move the ball downfield and put points on the board.
So it sounds like we have a pretty promising year ahead of us.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And they did a smart thing. Like, I was excited at the time when they signed Jacoby Brissett last year.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Tua went down because the offensive line sucked. And I don't think the offensive line will suck this year. So hopefully we get 17 games out of Tua.
Yeah, because you said the left tackle, right?
Yeah, they went left tackle, left guard. If Michael Dieter's healthy, playing center, or if they go get another center, Robert Hunt at right guard, like literally, and then let Austin Jackson, Robert Jones, and Liam Eichenberg battle it out for right tackle. Maybe bring in a veteran, they'll be good on the offensive line.
Fuck yeah!
But like last year, Tua went down, and then Jacoby Brissett had to take over. Tua's 6 feet tall, like 210 pounds. Jacoby Brissett is 6'5", 240, not as mobile, not as accurate. They had to completely switch the offense because they're like, well, fuck, Jacoby's in now. Jacoby can't run the RPO and all this shit. We got to change everything. This year they signed Teddy Bridgewater, who is very similar to Tua. So if Tua were to go down, I think they'll still win games with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Do you usually try and get your backup quarterback to be very similar to your starting quarterback? Because the way you're saying, a lot of the offenses ran around your starting quarterback.
Not always, but to a degree. There's differing things. You definitely, when you have a young quarterback, you want some sort of veteran who isn't going to, like, the issue with Ryan Fitzpatrick being there with Tua was it was Ryan Fitzpatrick's team, and they were winning, and then they sat Ryan Fitzpatrick and put Tua in when the team was playing well with Fitzpatrick. So Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, I thought this was my team. My heart hurts. And then the rest of the locker room was like, man, it's fucked up they did that to Fitz. Like the guy's all sad now. We love that guy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, like, to a degree, but also, like, look out in San Francisco. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. They went out and drafted Trey Lance. They're completely different quarterbacks. But
did teams ever try to do that to, like, throw off the defense? Like, change up their offense by changing their quarterbacks? Like, is there any, like, teams that ever do that as, like, a tactic where they're constantly changing their quarterbacks out?
Not in the NFL.
Okay.
There's like Taysom Hill, who in New Orleans. They have packages for him. He's super athletic. There is like Marcus Mariota when he was back. I don't know that they did it too much in
That was at like Oregon,
in
right?
Vegas. So I'm talking NFL still.
Oh, okay.
Like there's teams that will have packages for a certain quarterback where he'll go in for a play.
Yeah.
And it's like we want to roll him out, and
But isn't that like somewhat more predictable?
We'll roll him out and he'll run it 4 times, and then the 5th time we do it, we'll roll him out and he'll throw it back to his left, and we'll get a big play out of it.
Okay, I get what you're
like
saying.
there's teams that do shit like that, not that much. In college, it's all the time.
Yeah.
They're-
Okay.
Not all the time. Like
But it's more frequent for sure.
really good teams don't really do it.
Yeah.
You don't see like Alabama switching out their quarterbacks constantly.
Yeah.
But like a team like a fucking Michigan might do it, or the Gators did it with Tebow and Chris Leak. Like they'd have different times.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of pros and cons for it too.
Yeah, not in the NFL. In the NFL, you want a quarterback who's the leader of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, there we go. That's our Dolphins segment. Fins up.
Fuck yeah.
Let's stay healthy, and let's make a fucking run this year. Let's get into the playoffs and then be like Brian who when people ask about Flores. Like, oh, we don't try to win because we just won the AFC Championship and we're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, you heard it first.
There we go. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about this movie.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Liam Neeson and The Gray. So stick around, guys. And we're back.
Hey.
And we were going to talk about The Gray with Liam Neeson, but then Braden dropped kind of a bombshell on me. So I'm going to give a quick backstory.
Yeah.
He, like a month ago, told me some story about, like, some drifter girl who slept on his couch. She was weird. She asked him to stop playing video games because the clicking made her uncomfortable. That was, like, the most interesting part of the story when he told me it, and I was like, I mean, you kind of dropped the ball with, you had this drifter come stay at your house, and, like, that's the most weird thing that happened. And then Braden just dropped a bomb on me. That's not close to the most weird thing that happened. And then a month later, he just casually says it, and I was like, excuse me?
What's so funny, because it's probably going to be really weird for like 99% of you, but it might just be casual for like...
It's going to be one person who's like, it's nothing.
What are you talking? So what I'm talking about is what, for the casuals out there, is what is known as urotherapy. Now, people apparently...
Just say what she did. We don't need the backstory on why she did it. What she did.
She drank her piss in my home. And bro, like the girl was a sweet girl. Like
So,
I'm not
stop, because like that's we're not hedging our bets here. Like she's watching and she's like, man, Braden didn't like that I did that. Like fuck that. He gave her a glass of water.
Yeah, so
which she then went into the bathroom, dumped out the water, filled it with her piss. Her piss was clear. She's very hydrated.
Yep.
And then proceeded to just like casually drink it out of Braden's fucking glass.
Yeah, out of one of the cups at my home, and just casually drank it right in front of me. And I had no idea for the majority of that time until we were just talking, like we were, the entire time she was here. We were just talking about like a bunch of random things, and she's very passionate about a bunch of random things that most people probably would never hear. I didn't want to say holistic because I don't want to say like fucking drinking your piece holistic, but like she tries to do a lot of things that are apparently holistic, natural, this and that. And there's a literal trend going on right now about drinking your piss, and that it's very healthy for you, and that basically what they're trying to say is that your body isn't pissing away waste.
So dude,
Not
like,
go into it.
Like you're sitting on a gold mine of a story, and instead of telling the story, you're just like giving what she said the medical benefits are. Like,
Well, yeah, I'm trying to give like a
dude, I don't fuck that. The fucking arrogance to come into someone's home.
I was going to get into all of this.
Yeah, but you're just pussyfooting around it, dude. Let's just get to it.
For sure. So it's absolutely mind-boggling that someone thinks that they can have the right to and the audacity just to drink their own piss in front of people when they give them a place to stay, and they give them a cup to drink out of. They give them Kangen water. This is a normal water. I drink out of a $5,000 water. I'm not kidding. It's a $5,000 water machine. It is literally medical grade water. It's the best of the best water. She dumped it out and put her piss in it and started drinking it in front of me.
He's not joking. I had a glass of the water, and I was like, dude, this is really good, like, this filter system, all that stuff. Like thinking, like, oh, maybe I'll get one. And I was asking questions about it. He's like, yeah, and it's like this. He's like, and it's $5,000. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's $5,000. It hooks up to the thing. I was like, all right, well, I'm out. I'm not spending $5,000 on a water filter.
Yeah, and then it transforms the little Optimus Prime. It fucks you and then you know, dumps some water in your mouth.
Yeah, maybe I'd buy that.
No, but it was ridiculous.
And here's the thing: if you have to do that, if you in your mind are like, I can't let this piss go to waste. You chug it in the bathroom.
Exactly.
You chug it in the bathroom, and then you come out and you're like, oh, I'm done with this glass. Where do I put it?
So David's got a good point. I shouldn't have started with going over all the fucking what she believes.
Yeah, fuck all that.
But in regard, this is the point of the reason why I was even trying to bring it up, was to say what she thought, what people thought, for me to be like, that doesn't fucking make a difference. If someone said you're going to be able to get all of the leftover nutrients in your fucking shit and you should go 2 girls, 1 cup it right now, that doesn't mean that you have the right to go into someone random home, shit on their floor, and just start eating it and be like, well...
Nah, she does it in like a bowl. You gave her like a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, I gave her a bowl of cereal.
She dumps the cereal and flushes it and then shits in a bowl and just comes out with a spoon. She's like...
Well, Google said that
there's a lot of nutrients in this.
You know, your body just can't absorb all the nutrients in one go, so you just got to go through it again.
It is fucking insane. I loved this girl based off of the first story that he told me when he left this part out. I fucking hate her now. Because she was just weird and kind of like, hey, will you not play video games? You got all this clicking, and it kind of gives me anxiety. And Brent's like... I mean, you sleep up in the bedroom. Like, why are you coming in and being weird?
And I'm not trying to, like, get too deep. Like, everyone's got trauma. Everyone goes through things, and everyone deals with it differently. But that doesn't make it right for you to think that you have the right to go into someone's home and do something that is not accepted on a wide spectrum scale. So, like, you have the awareness prior to your trauma, prior to you converting to drinking your own piss, that this isn't the norm. Not everyone is drinking their own piss. So if you really feel that you have to drink your piss, one, like maybe do what David said, go and sneak it. But like, for God, one, just don't do it. But if anything, maybe ask. Maybe some way, in some shape or form, ask. But even then, I probably wouldn't.
No.
But
because it's not...
I'm not going to say yes.
It's not...
It's just awkward.
And it's not you and I have known each other for over 20 years. And I'm like, hey, man, I've been doing this thing. Do you care if I have a bottle and I kind of just sip my pee? Like, you say no to that, but I would feel comfortable asking you that question. I feel uncomfortable doing it.
Oh,
but I feel like I could ask you that, and you'd be like, I'd really rather you didn't have a bottle of your piss in my living room, if we're being honest. She was a stranger, and it's fucking bizarre. She was, like, sleeping in her car outside Braden's fucking the townhouse here.
Yeah.
And Braden's like, oh, you can't park in that spot. He's like, what are you doing here, by the way? She's like, I'm just traveling. She was driving, oh my God. She was driving from, like, Jacksonville to Miami. And she's like, I just don't think I can make the full trip. For those of you guys who are familiar with Florida, that's 5 hours.
No, it was less. It was from Orlando.
It was Orlando.
It was 2 hours. It was a 2-hour drive. Or, well, if you're going to Miami, it's like 3.5.
Yeah.
She was at 2-hour mark. Because that's how far I am from Universal, and she was like, I just can't do it.
So I can't make it.
And like, no, I'm not trying to, offend her, even though she's not watching or anything. But like, the reason why you couldn't make it,
I hope she is.
The reason why you couldn't make it is because you're not eating enough, and you're not drinking enough water, and you're not eating enough food. Because she's also, I'm not trying to also shit on vegans or anything, but like, dude, you're probably low on iron.
Yeah, shit on vegans.
Low on energy, like literally because you're not getting enough nutrients because you haven't ever ate a juicy fucking steak. So anyone out there, if you're low on energy, fucking listen to me. Go eat a steak, put some real salt on it, and in a minute you're going to feel amazing.
Dude, my iron, I feel like it's at an uncomfortably high level. When they do the thing where they test it and they drop it in the water and it's supposed to spread out, mine is like a rock. It sinks to the bottom and they're like, oof. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking, they're like, high on iron, huh? I'm like, oh yeah. They're like, all right.
I'm sure, though, there's something else that you would just have to consume. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's potassium or some fucking bullshit that would just help. I don't know, like, is it really that possible you can, like, ingest just, like, too much
iron?
Well, just
I'm sure.
Food in general that's going to give you too much iron. Maybe, like, a supplement. Maybe you're taking, like, a supplement or something.
So I don't do that, and they're like, that's unhealthy. you need to check on that. They're like, all right, your iron's obviously
nice.
fine.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
cool. I thought you were gonna
they're like your blood was a fucking rock. Obviously, you're getting enough iron. Keep it up, bud. Yeah.
You're calcifying.
They're like, you got a bunch of other shit that's not healthy. Like, let's talk about that. But the iron, spot on. Spot on.
Whatever meat you're eating, David.
Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah.
Fuck this girl.
Yeah.
Fuck this girl. We're 50 minutes in and we need to start talking about this movie.
Yeah.
But Braden just casually said that to me and I was like, come on, dude.
It's just,
I was like, come on, that's fucking nuts.
And like, I was sitting there mind blown that this girl had the audacity, because very sweet girl, and you could tell that like she's different. Like she believes in things and talks and acts and expresses in ways.
I mean,
that
that's
most
kind of
people...
judgmental, dude.
Yeah,
she's
right.
different.
Yeah, you're right.
You think drinking your piss is different?
I'm sorry, David. I'm just so.
You think having to go sleep at a stranger's house on your way from Orlando to Miami is different? You think then refusing the bed that you're offered and sleeping on the couch and complaining to the person who lives in that house about their sleeping conditions is different? Fuck this person.
David, you're right.
I haven't met her and I hate her. All the other stuff, I was like, I kind of respect like that level of rudeness to be like, hey man, like, I know you offered me that bedroom and I said no, I'll sleep on the couch, but you're being real annoying with your video games to click in. I can't, I won't stand for it. You need to stop. I kind of respect that nonsense.
She's one of those people that is
you
just...
lost me at the piss, and now all of that other stuff is weird to me.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's one of those people that thinks that when they're expressing so freely, it's one of those very hippie free people that their decisions that they make in life have no consequence or any rationality or awareness to them. And that's what kind of really pisses me off, is that a lot of these type of people, they just think that living so free, expressing so free comes with nothing. There's no weight to anything at all. There's no judgment. There's nothing. And then there's always going to be consequences about that. Like, the way that they just show their body on like the internet, and I'm not getting it. This is such a weird thing. No, I literally, bro, I follow her on Instagram, and like she just made like, she was sharing a video, and she was like at some thing like in public, and her tits were just like completely out. And I'm not against like free the tits.
I'm all for that.
No, but that's not my point. It's like there was even other things that was
she shows her tits and it offends you. You touch me too much and it offends me. All right.
No, it's not about that. It's about you don't understand what other people could be thinking. Like, there's perverts out there. This is like it's just like there's no daunting thought about
adult.
reality. No, but my point is you're not rationalizing reality. Like, obviously, if you're going to go in some random person's home and drink their piss, if you're going to go in a public place and just be naked, you're going to go and do like.
Here's where it's weird. Free the tits.
No,
where was she? Was she at fucking Publix or was she at like a music festival?
No, she wasn't at a music festival. I don't know where she was. She was just, there was a bunch of people. It was almost like a farmer's market kind of thing, bro, where it was like, that is what it kind of seemed like. It was just, I'm not against.
Pull up the picture and don't show the camera, obviously. Because we'll protect that. I didn't know you.
Well, it was a
I also didn't know you followed her on Instagram.
It's not like.
That's fucking interesting. I assumed she was a stranger and she left you as a stranger.
So
they're in somebody's backyard.
Oh yeah.
They're in fucking. Braden's crazy.
I didn't see the house.
They're in someone's backyard. They don't care that her tits are out. It's like her friends. Braden's picking a weird hill.
I saw a bunch of.
Braden is picking a weird hill to die on here.
No,
she came into your home and drank her piss.
It's not about the tits.
That is where she was.
It's
weird.
not about the tits. It's about the fact that these type of people they live and die by this free expression, and they think that there's never any consequences that come with any of the decisions that they make because they don't rationalize reality. And that's my whole point. They don't have an awareness for the way that I'm going to judge you drinking your fucking piss out of my cup in my home in front of my fucking face. They don't have that awareness is my point.
Yeah, that part for sure. I'm okay with all that other shit. She was at her friend's house. They're a bunch of them are shirtless. They're like doing gardening shit. It looked cool. It looked like a scene where I'd be like, I might go hang out at that house today. That sounds fun.
I thought I saw it differently.
Yeah. Maybe I'll drink my own piss in the proper setting. I bet you they all do it. It'd
be great if like a couple months from now we find out how healthy it is drinking your piss and how nutritious.
So it might be. It might be the most healthy thing in the world. People think that. It's still weird that it's not weird. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
That she dumped out the glass of water you gave her, replaced the glass with her piss, and drank it in front of you like that was okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't until we were sitting down, made conversation where she brought up urotherapy and started explaining to us.
The fact that she drew attention to it.
And then my mom was like, "Oh, I've heard of that before." And then I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then she was like, "Yo, I'm drinking my piss right now." I'm like, it's like
you should have just pointed the door.
It's like my soul left my body.
You should have just been like, get the fuck out.
I got turned pale white.
Yeah, you should have said, "Get the fuck out of my house right now."
And basically started looking like the fucking Liam Neeson.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Liam Neeson.
Are you fucking kidding? You don't know his name?
Liam Neeson.
How did you fuck that up right there?
I look like Liam Neeson from the fucking Grey. That's what I looked like when she said.
Great segue. Let's jump into that movie. How did you not know his fucking name? Start pulling the stuff up. Where's the charger? We're gonna keep this rolling. I'm gonna plug that phone in.
Oh yeah, thank you. I almost forgot about that. It's right here, right off to the side.
Camera.
Oh shit! 5-6 Kings. But yeah, guys, if you guys ever have some stranger in your house drinking piss, just roll with it. It'll be a good story to tell one day, I'm sure. Look good?
I think so. I see what's charging.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's too close, David. They're not going to get the full. They're not going to get.
I'll do like a.
Nice. Nice. I hope that was good for you guys. But yeah, we did Bless You.
Thank you. All right. The Grey with Liam Neeson. Let's talk money.
Yeah.
The budget can't have been crazy high. I'm going to guess $25 million.
It's you got to be fucking kidding me.
Is it $25 million?
It's $25 million.
God, 2 weeks in a row.
$25 million on the dot.
2 weeks in a row. Who's got a better hot streak than me, guys? Fucking nobody.
That's crazy.
They made, I hope under 100. I'm going to guess like 90.
A little bit lower.
A little bit lower. 85?
79.
79?
Almost 80.
Yeah, which, like, good for them.
Yeah. And it had mixed reviews when it first came out because they had a hard time finding a way to market this film. And if you've seen it,
and they missed the mark on how they marketed it.
Yeah,
I thought this was just Liam Neeson alone with wolves. Everybody that I told we were doing this movie this week thought this movie was Liam Neeson alone with wolves. That is not the case even a little bit.
Like he's just running the pack and fucking wolves. And
it was like he's just alone in the wilderness the whole movie, and he's like fighting wolves by himself.
Oh,
it's him and like 6 other people survive a plane crash.
Yeah, and
the wolves are a very big part of this movie, but it's like it's him and other people. There's dialogue. Like when Braden said we're gonna do this movie, I was like, "The fuck are we gonna?" Like, are there words in this movie? Because it's Liam Neeson alone with wolves, and Braden had to be like, "No, there's other people."
Yeah,
he's like, "There's other people." The whole movie, there's other people. I was like, "All right, great."
Yeah, they had a tough time marketing this because essentially this is a very deep, dark kind of film that goes over like what the meaning of life is and like how to deal with depression and all this different kind of stuff.
Do you know who they wanted to play Liam Neeson?
No.
And this would have been like an Academy Award nominated movie.
Matt Damon.
No. Bradley Cooper.
Oh.
And this would have gone. Oh. This would have gone from that Liam Neeson fucking wolf movie to that badass wilderness movie with Bradley Cooper that won all those Oscars.
Dude, like since you say that, he seems like one of the only other actors I could see that would fit this.
This movie would have been so different. It would have been so much more critical. It would have been like the 5-6 Kings. It would have been critically acclaimed.
Bro,
and Bradley Cooper would have won
Bradley
an Oscar.
Cooper, like when he was in A Star Is Born with the thick beard and everything, looking like he would have killed it.
Bradley Cooper would have won an Oscar for this movie.
Yeah,
it's like when fucking Leonardo DiCaprio did The Revenant.
Man.
It would have been like that.
Kind of wish he was still in it, even if he wasn't Liam's character.
No other character he could have played.
You're right.
Yeah,
but I just wish he still was.
Of course, I'm fucking right.
yeah. But I just wish he was still in the movie. Like, now that you say it, I'm like, fuck, that was what this movie was missing.
Yeah.
Was Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper would have been great.
Yeah. But they
and like Liam Neeson's a badass because it's Liam Neeson, but I don't think anyone's gonna mistake him for a great actor.
Well, I think one thing that Liam did...
He's not a bad actor by any means, but, like, there's been 0 Liam Neeson movies where I've watched and I've been like, oh, my God, he's an amazing actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one thing that... there wasn't as... I don't know. Like, I think he did a great job, but there was something... Like, a lot about his character, his role in the movie doesn't give as much... I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain. I'm kind of doing a bad job right now. It's like subtle is more. Like his acting is really good because it's like subtle is more. He's showing less, but it's showing more. Like a lot of the
but there's also plenty of times where he shows less and it's absolutely showing less.
Yeah, but like I'm kind of getting more to the way it's written. It doesn't seem like it gives as much for Liam to.
This movie was written and shot very poorly, I thought.
You think?
Yeah.
I think in certain ways it could have given more, for sure. But I think what they did was good, but I felt like they could have done more.
Yeah. What are the reviews
if that makes
say?
sense. Yeah, let's get to the fucking reviews, huh? All right. So, IMDb, give it a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, give it a 79%. TV Guide, give it a 64%. And Google users give it an 83%.
What'd you give it?
I give it a 7.7. High for you, huh?
I give this movie a 5, and I want to give it so much lower.
Yeah?
But, like, it's fine. At times, it's fine. This movie pissed me off in a way that...
Really?
I don't think another movie ever has. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. But, like, fuck this movie.
Really?
Fuck this movie. Don't watch this movie.
Oh, watch this movie. Dude,
fuck
guys.
this movie. Don't watch this movie. Go on with your life.
We're going to be split on 2 different spectrums throughout this podcast today.
Let's talk awards.
All right. I'm not, like, crazy in love with it, but I definitely think it's worth watching. So it's got 2 wins, 8 nominations. So I'll just read through them. So they were nominated for the Saturn Award at the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films for Best Horror Thriller Film. They were nominated for Best Film at the Dublin Film Critics Circle Awards. They won the Chainsaw Award for Best Actor at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, Liam Neeson. And they were nominated for the Chainsaw Award for Best Wide Release Film, Best Supporting Actor, Frank Grillo, and Best Score, Mark Streitenfeld. They were nominated for the Golden Schmo Awards.
Which one's Frank Grillo? Frank Grillo. Yeah,
he's the one that...
I thought he was the best actor in this movie.
Oh, he did great.
Yeah,
I thought he did great.
I thought by far he did the best job out of anyone in this movie.
I would say some of the other actors did really good too, but they had smaller roles. So it's kind of...
Yeah. This movie's well acted.
It's...
I will give them that for sure.
I would say there's... Yeah, like, I think there could have been more to the story, but I thought a lot of the aspects of the filmmaking and the acting was done pretty well. But I think the writing could have been better. I think the story could have been better. But they were nominated for the Golden Schmo Awards for Most Underrated Movie of the Year, Biggest Surprise of the Year, and Best Actor of the Year. And then they won the Golden Trailer Award for Best Thriller at the Golden Trailer Awards. So good for them.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good for them. Let's jump into this fucking movie or what?
Yeah, let's dive.
So we open, there's a shot of the Alaskan wilderness and we hear some wolves howling. And then Liam Neeson starts narrating it.
And let me say really quick too, I've been in like northern states where I've camped in the national parks, and it's one of the most eerie feelings being in literal pitch black darkness and hearing a pack of wolves.
Yeah, hearing wolves, hearing coyotes. Like, you're just like, oh, shit, there's a bunch of those things.
One time, me and Chris were parked in Yellowstone, and we were parked in one of the random spots, and we just cooked like a couple hours before, and there was no one for miles around us. And we kept hearing this pack of wolves getting closer to us for over probably an hour, to the point to where they were probably 100 feet from us. And we drove off. We were like, where there's no way. And I actually and then another time when I was at the Great Sand Dunes in Colorado, we got there at 1 a.m. and we slept in the parking lot in my car. And the last thing I did was pour out a drink of water. And I opened the car door to like pour it out. And there was a wolf literally less than 10 feet. It was at the edge of where the light from my car went out to, and I was staring directly into its face, and it was turned to me, and its neck was as fucking thick as its back. It was so I've never been so scared in my life. I immediately shut the door. Wolves are scary as fuck.
Absolutely.
And now we could dive deep into this.
And I said it's the Alaskan wilderness. They shot this all in British Columbia.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful though, yeah.
So Liam Neeson's narrating it. He's saying he's a salaried killer for a big petroleum company, which it's wolves that he kills.
Yeah,
he protects
people.
the guys that are out there drilling and shit. He's not killing humans. This isn't a Hitman movie. And he's like, I'm surrounded by pieces of shit because I'm a piece of shit. he's like, I work with criminals and stuff, but it's what I deserve because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's in like a pool hall. They're at like a base camp before they go out to their jobs, and there's like a pool hall and a bar, and there's guys fighting. And the music goes silent, and we just see Liam Neeson. He's having a flashback, and he's taking shots. He's in bed with they never say it's his wife, but it's his wife. She's credited as whatever, same last name as him.
Yeah.
And like he's having a flashback with him, and then we see him writing a letter to her about how she left, and I don't know why I'm writing this because I'll never get you back. You were the love of my life. You left me. I'll never get you back. You're gone forever.
And a big part that you feel during this is that he's just kind of numb. He's like depressed and numb because he's not even reacting to all this craziness that's happening directly behind him.
Yeah. Like it's silent, like it's in his own world while there's a brawl going on.
Like a literal
10
fucking
feet
brawl
behind him.
Yeah.
It's his fault she's gone, and he stopped doing this world any real good since she left. And then we hear a poem, once more into the fray. Into the fray I go. Into the last good fight I'll ever know. And then we see him kneeling out in the snow, sticking his rifle, like the end in his mouth, like he's going to blow his fucking head off. And then we hear wolves start howling, and he stops. And then he says, live and die on this day. Live and die on this day.
One thing I did like about Liam's acting is that the look on his face when he was about to fucking blow his head off.
Looked like someone was about to blow his fucking head off.
And he was looking outward, like he was really contemplating what was going through his mind, like through his character's mind. Instead of just being like trying to embrace the impact or some shit, like he was. I don't know. I really liked it.
We're now boarding a plane. Liam Neeson's sitting down, and this dude comes in, and he's like, he gets snow all over Liam Neeson from his jacket. He's like, "Oh shit, sorry, dude, sorry, I'm so fucking sorry." And then he goes and he sits down to Liam Neeson, and he just doesn't shut the fuck up. He's like, fucking. He's like, "Oh man." He's like, my nuts are so cold. Got a few different girls out there, and I got a kid with one of them. And I was like, we both fucked, so it only makes sense that I'll split the kid with you. Like shit. Like he's just nonstop talking shit. And he's like, you're the dude who kills all them wolves, huh? We saw Liam Neeson kill a wolf earlier. By the way, he was something like rifle it as it was.
So this wolf was just about to take this guy out at the petroleum fucking place, and he just sniped him and killed this fucking wolf.
So, and then this dude's like, yeah, you're the killer. You ever kill anything cool like a Kodiak or something, I saw that documentary about that fag who wanted to be around all the bears and shit. Like, fuck that guy. I assume he's talking about Grizzly Man.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, there isn't another documentary about some fag who wants to be around all the bears and shit.
No, yeah, I think you're right.
So, Grizzly Man. And Liam Neeson goes, hey, man, I don't really want to talk.
Yeah.
You mind if we just, you just do the flight?
This guy gets a fucking...
my head back.
He gets offended and gets up out of his seat to go sit somewhere else.
Great. So they kind of scan the plane, and we see some people who work there. And this crew was consisted of the richest man from Karth in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
The big black dude who steals Daenerys dragons.
Uh-huh.
The guy who owns the diner in Shameless, and he was going to get married to Fiona, but he was a heroin addict, and he was shooting heroin again.
Yeah.
That guy. Joey Giardello from the movie The Hurricane. Good movie. You ever seen it? Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Plays Reuben Hurricane Carter. Mm-hmm. And the artist from season 5 of Billions, the guy who, spoiler, fast forward, hit the 30-second thing if you're watching Billions and you aren't on the season with that guy who's the artist. He's doing, it's called Implosion. He does all the crazy art, and he's fucking Chuck Rhodes' ex-wife.
Nice.
Yeah. They're all joking around and being loud and shit. Liam Neeson's sleeping. They hit some serious turbulence. The loud dude from earlier tells everyone, like, when they hit the turbulence, like, it's aggressive, and everyone shuts the fuck up, and they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's funny how all these guys who were talking all this shit, these big macho men kind of guys, just pipe down very quickly.
Well,
they hit a little bit turbulence.
The loud dude from earlier tells everyone, he's like, don't put your head between your legs if we crash, because I watched Discovery Channel, and some fucking retards did that, and their spine went through their head.
That's what it says on the pamphlets if you ever go on any airplane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that he's right.
Oh, in that essence, yeah. Like them all getting killed because of that. I don't know if he's right.
Yeah,
either.
I feel like the plane, they know what they're talking about, not this guy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And they're all pissed that he said it. They're all like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, man.
Because they're all scared that they're probably going to go down.
Yeah. Turbulence keeps going, and then later it kind of just cuts, because later it's very calm on the plane.
Yeah.
But there's a radar, like a screen in the front with a radar that the whole plane can see for some reason. I've never seen a plane with this.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's on the front, and you see a big-ass storm.
Oh, my God.
And I don't get, like, why would you have that out there in the main cabin for everyone to see and be like, oh, well, that's no good.
And, like, couldn't you fly over it? Like, I'm not a fucking pilot.
But, like, why have that out there?
Yeah.
Why have that
Why
be
even let them see
visible
it?
for
Yeah.
people? Liam Neeson is asleep and dreaming about being in bed with his wife, and then they hit some serious turbulence, and it was a cool little shot here. When they hit the turbulence, he, like, flies out of the bed in his dream.
Yeah, they did a really good... honestly, it scared the fuck out of me.
I dreamt last night that I hit turbulence in a plane, and I
Really?
shook him. I swear to God, and
Wow.
I shook him, woke
Bro,
up,
that-
and I was like, "Whoa,
That's not coincidence. that's the impression that this movie gave you.
yeah, it's fucking Liam Neeson."
Well, they did do a good job filmmaking all this right here, I would say.
Yeah, they hit the turbulence, and then like we see there's clearly a hole in the plane somewhere. We see snow flying in. It's windy.
Well,
Bodies are flying.
So what Liam does, though, I really like this. Once when they get to a point of turbulence that Liam knows shit's about to go down, he has the whole row to himself now, so he lays down and he puts all the seat buckles around him and straps himself down to like 3 chairs. And then the side of the plane, it's almost like the plane, I think what ends up happening is it goes into like not just like a free fall, but it's like spinning to where the plane, I think, cracks in half. Because even when they land, or even when they end up crashing, so from Liam's point of view, right behind his head, that part of the plane is just like broken off. So you don't know if that's just a hole in the plane or if the plane like split in two. Because when they crash, we see that the plane was broken into two pieces.
It's in
Well,
half.
a bunch of pieces, but there's 2 like main broken in half pieces. Yeah. So that's what I thought is like maybe they started spinning and then the plane literally split in half as they're still coming down.
Yeah, but he strapped himself in, put his oxygen mask on.
Yeah, it seemed very realistic. So fucking good job filmmaking.
They crash, and Liam Neeson is imagining being under, like him and his wife. They're like in bed under the sheets, and this was a nice little because it's all white under the sheets, and then he comes to. And it's all white, and he's like buried under snow and has to pull himself up.
Yeah, it's a good transition for sure. Like that was a smart way for them to do that.
So Liam Neeson's like, oh shit! And he's looking around and sees smoke over the hill. Goes over there and sees the crash site.
It's a fucking blizzard.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's a full blizzard. Like he can barely see shit. And dude,
it's worst case scenario if you just crashed
anywhere
and it wasn't in the ocean.
Yeah,
I think the ocean would be worse.
Or like a volcano.
Okay, ocean volcano would be worse. Other than that, this is worst case scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
And he finds the crash site, and the loud dude from earlier is screaming. He's under some shit. He's freaking out. Liam goes and helps him.
Yeah. His leg's fucked up.
Yeah,
or some shit.
the guy from Hurricane is on the ground. He's talking nonsense. He's like, I just got to make a quick call to Vanessa. And I go, what are you talking about? Like, no, Liam Neeson doesn't, like, play along with him. He's like, we just crashed. You're going to fucking die.
Yeah, the guy's in shock, and Liam's like, the plane's everywhere, man. Like,
he's like, I need help finding survivors. Vanessa isn't here. You're not calling Vanessa. Let's go. And he's like, all right.
Well, the guy starts profusively crying, too, and it just... I did like the acting even from that guy, because it... Like, I think he was one of the guys that was bar fighting. I think he was the guy that picked up the dude from behind.
I believe you. I didn't pay attention there.
But it's funny because a really
who.
good thing that this movie does is show how sensitive even like these big, strong macho men are. Like something cataclysmic, traumatic happens, and they did a good job at showing like the way these people would react in a realistic manner.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And like I said, the acting's very good.
No, yeah.
I like the acting. These guys nailed it.
Yeah.
We go, and there's someone that I forgot to mention was part of the team. We'll get there in a second. We go in. He's on the plane now, and the artist, the guy from Karth and Shameless, they're all inside and alive. And then the guy from The Departed, who is at the end of The Departed, and fast forward a little bit, he's the guy, he's a detective the whole time, and then at the end we find out he kills Leonardo DiCaprio and then kills Anthony Anderson, and we find out like he was working for Frank Costello too. He's like, Matt Damon, it's you and me now. We gotta look out for each other, all right? You understand? Matt Damon's like, yeah, and then Matt Damon just fucking caps him. He's like, this guy's dead weight. This guy means nothing to me.
Yeah.
All that is another person that has to be on the same page as me. No loose ends.
Yeah.
That guy. Mm-hmm. He's here, and he's bleeding out. And he's like, someone needs to help me. Someone needs to help me. And Liam Neeson calms him down by saying, you're gonna die. That's what's happening right now. And he's like, what? He's like, no, don't fucking say that, man. He's like, hey, calm down. He's like, you're gonna die, but it's okay. Just keep looking at me. He's like, it'll start to feel nice and warm, and it'll drift over you.
And he starts to freak out for a second.
He's like, hey, it's all right. Hey. Who do you love?
No, man, no.
Who do you love? No, he comes down here. He's like, who do you love? And he goes, my girl Rosie. He goes, your girl, is that your daughter? He's like, yeah, it's my daughter. He's like, she's 6 years old. He's like, good thing. Think about her.
Let her take you there.
Think about her. Let her take you there. And then he shortly dies. And right before he dies, it's a weird phrase that he said. He said, wait for me.
Liam said that?
No, the dude
that
who
guy.
died.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I don't.
That's a weird phrase.
Yeah, I don't even remember hearing
Who does
that.
he want to wait for him?
Is that like the last thing he said?
Those were his last words. Wait for me. It's kind of selfish, if you ask me. Fucking.
Yo, but honestly,
that's how you're
though,
gonna go out?
This is one of the best death scenes I think I've ever seen.
It's very good.
Like when it comes to acting, like this, and it wasn't just him; it was everyone around. So they're showing the reactions of all the other people, all the other guys that are around him, to the point where all the guys put their hands on his wound, even though they know that he's gonna die. Like trying to almost embrace this death, like collectively, and like the guys are crying, everyone's like crying. This guy's doing an amazing job, dying. Like all the acting is superb. And Liam, in essence, like helps it because he's playing so less.
And it's impressive that they can do that with, like we didn't hear that fucking character say a word until then.
Exactly.
And we still cared that he was dying there. It was still emotional. Like it was, it was impressive.
It really is, man. And that's, dude, it just shows you the level of acting and filmmaking, and like, fuck, bro. Because a lot of times too, man, you gotta think about all these things, you know, that you know why you would feel the way you would as like an actor, and like the less backstory, the less story you have, the more you have to build on your own, which is the fun, creative aspect of acting. But it just shows how professional, how good these guys are, because when these guys are crying, like you can't just force yourself to cry. Like these guys are thinking all these other things that they made so.
I can.
David can. But they're making it so passionate and so true to themselves. That's why they're thinking of the other things, and they're able to cry in those moments, and it's really good acting.
Yeah. So he is dead now. The dude from earlier is freaking out. The loud dude.
Mm-hmm.
some of the guys are like, I just felt him leave. You feel that? And they're like, I felt him leave too. That was fucking crazy.
And then the black guy, what's his name?
I'm just calling him Karth.
Karth. He starts profusively laughing, which I liked that choice, whether it was him or the
hysterically laughing.
And I liked it in a way because everyone
say hysterically
because everyone grieves differently. And I don't know if it was him or the director that chose that, but him being in shock and then also experiencing like that guy dying.
It
right
had to be the director. I don't think they're giving him the creative liberty to.
I agree
to make that because it's kind of obnoxious and takes over the scene.
Yeah,
there's no way he just gets to do that.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly.
The director would like cut, like, dude, you want to stop laughing? What the fuck? Like,
it's a very good point. Yeah, for sure the directing, and definitely was probably in the script and stuff. But I did like that they had it, regardless of I don't know if you liked it or not.
Yeah, I like the laugh.
Okay, yeah. I just felt like it added to it, like the reality of how people probably might react in some crazy traumatic experience.
Everyone would have been different. The artist blamed the loud guy from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if you didn't fucking put that shit out there, we wouldn't have crashed. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
What did I do?
Liam Neeson says they need to make a fire and they need to start stripping stuff down. And then Shameless looks at him confused and goes, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing a fire? Yeah, Liam Neeson's like, there's a blizzard going on right now. We'll probably die if we don't have a fire.
Yeah, unless you want to freeze to death.
He was like, well, why the fuck was he confused about that? I was like, yeah, we need a fire. That makes sense.
Yeah,
it's really cold. Let's get a fire going.
Too. It's like, why? It almost seemed maybe it was like an ego thing. Like you're trying to question a guy just because he's in charge and not you.
Not that guy. This is the guy from Shameless. That guy.
Oh, okay.
That guy had no ego this whole movie.
Yeah, you're
right.
That guy. I thought you were talking about Frank.
Yeah, he was legitimately confused. Just like, why you doing that? He's like, because we'll freeze to death, man. Start getting shit that can burn. One of the dudes, they're all like, we then see them stripping stuff. One of the dude wanted to burn insulation, and the guy's like, we'll die if we burn that and breathe it in. You gotta not do that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The artist, he wants to bury all the bodies. He's like, we should do something with these bodies, man. And then he just says, we're all fucked. That's where that ends with him.
Yeah.
That night, Liam Neeson, he thinks he sees a flight attendant alive, like leaned up against a fire. The wallet thing happened. I feel like the wallet thing happens way later.
Yeah, it does. So, what they're doing is they're setting up like perimeter fires or something like that. I think is what he was doing.
Yeah,
and so they're setting up like little fires around so they can kind of see around. And Liam turns around, he sees what he thinks is a live flight attendant, and then notices that a wolf is just eating at her
because like she's sitting up and he sees that the body's
like,
moving and he's like, oh shit, I'm coming, and then he sees a wolf just ripping her apart.
Well, he starts yelling at the wolf.
Yeah.
And then doesn't notice that there's a second fucking wolf. And this wolf, I love this shot, spears him, and literally he goes flying like 4 or 5 feet into like a rock or something. It was like a rock. It was like a giant rock or something.
It was something big.
Yeah.
Like fucks him up.
Yeah.
So they're going at him, like ripping him apart. He's trying to fight him off.
Yeah, it's like biting his leg now, and he's trying to fucking punch it.
And some of the other guys run up and scare the wolves off.
Yeah, and 2 wolves run away. And they hit one of the wolves a couple times, like a random piece of metal. That was their chance.
Yeah.
That was a good chance for them to like really kill that wolf.
They have a fire on the plane now, and Liam Neeson, he's bleeding a good bit, and one of the guys is helping him. And he says, Liam Neeson's like, oh, maybe I'll turn into a wolf man. And the loud dude from earlier is like, is that real? And they're all like, the fuck do you think? What are you, 7? Like he makes a wolf man joke. Like, are you really gonna turn into a wolf man? He's like, get the fuck out of here.
So I didn't think he was actually going to grow fangs and fur. I just thought, like rabies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he fucking did.
Yeah, he totally thought the fucking fur was coming
Liam
out.
Neeson then is like, I mean, hopefully they're just passing through because wolves are very territorial and they have a radius of 30 miles or 130 miles. It was a big radius. Like, they have a big radius
it was crazy.
around their den that they protect, and if we're in there, they're going to hunt us. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, so
this knows all those weird wolf facts.
So this is like a big point in the movie because a lot of people that were critiquing the movie said that it wasn't 100% realistic with portraying wolves, but the big part of it was that it's not that these wolves are attacking these people essentially for no reason. It's because they're possibly within the range of their den, and that's supposed to be the whole premise.
Yeah. In the artist's like, why the fuck do you know so much about wolves, man? Like, who the fuck are you? And Liam Neeson's like, my job's to kill these fucking things. You think I don't know about them? Like, get the fuck out of my face. My job is to sit with a rifle and kill wolves when they get close to you guys.
It's the only reason why I'm with you.
He's like, of course I know about wolves.
Yeah. And then he kind of like, doesn't he go on to explain a little bit of like wolf?
He's like, they know we're wounded and they can smell it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't fuck with us. Liam Neeson's like, we need to move the bodies out there because they'll come for the dead bodies. They'll smell the blood and the fucking rotting flesh, all that stuff. They'll come. So they're out there moving the bodies, and the artist from Billions is robbing the bodies. Yeah. He's like going through the wallet and pulling out the money. Liam Neeson's like, you're about to get killed over some money. You need to stop doing this right now. And I was like, fuck out of my face. They don't give me a Christmas bonus. I'm stealing this guy's money. He's like, put it down or I'm going to fucking kill you.
He's like, unless you want to drink fucking blood.
Yeah. He's like, you're going to put that down. And I was like, man, whatever. Fuck this. And throws it at Liam and walks away.
Directly before that, though, before he started stealing the wallet, he stole a watch. And that watch, he said, had a GPS built into the watch. Which he pulls like a string on it or some shit, and it's making a ticking noise as if it's working. He's like, oh, it's working. Yeah. So we know that this GPS watch might be working.
They're all gathered around the fire. They're eating something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're eating. And
I'm thinking they found food somehow.
Yeah. The loud dude from earlier starts talking about that movie with the guy from Training Day where there was a plane crash and he was eating someone's frozen ass after they died because he needed to feed himself. It's definitely not Denzel. I assume it's Ethan Hawke. I have no idea what movie that is.
I am not sure either.
They talk about that movie. And then he like talks about like eating a severed dick as a hot dog and all that stuff. He's weird. He's a weird cat. Yeah. And the artist from Billions goes, yeah, I wish some of the other dudes lived. Just exactly like that. They all laugh. And then there's some loud, like, rah, 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 and they're like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, there's some fucking wolves.
They all go out and they see, like, the head wolf in the front, the Johnny Truelove, the alpha dog.
Well, Liam Neeson immediately, this is kind of, like, bizarre to me.
The Johnny Truelove, the alpha dog.
Yeah.
We got to acknowledge that.
Yeah, the alpha dog, yeah, the Johnny True, yeah. But I didn't like this because why walk away from something that has your back? So like the crash site, you're protected from your back, but now you're going to walk out 20 feet toward, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just seemed a little silly. But Liam like leads all the guys straight to the wolves.
This is a torch.
That's a torch. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, like they go out too, and like they see the Johnny Truelove wolf, and like do that, and he just kind of stands his ground, and then we see a bunch of other wolf eyes, like fucking 30.
Yeah.
And you're like, uh-oh. And then the wolves slowly back up.
Yeah. And like some of the guys kept wanting to leave. He's like, I'm going back to the crash site.
He's like, don't fucking move.
Liam's like, don't you fucking move.
So Liam Neeson tells everyone, he's like, all right, guys, get some sleep. We're going to do 2-hour guard shifts. I'll go first. Which is kind of...
He goes, I'll go first, and he immediately passes out.
Yeah, so I think that's just the shooting of the movie. Because other people were watching when he was passed out.
But they said, I thought he said 2 people for 2 hours.
No, 1 person for 2 hours. Guys, go to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, so...
Okay, well, then he's a fucking idiot for sleeping outside.
They just shot it weirdly. Yeah. But also, fuck you for going first. That's the easiest shift.
Yeah.
Everyone's adrenaline is pumping right now. No one's sleeping right now.
Yeah.
Like, I would absolutely want to go first and then get to sleep the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Take that shit in a heartbeat.
100%.
I don't want to go, like, third.
Yeah.
Sleep for 4 hours, wake up, and then try to sleep for 4 more hours. No.
Yeah.
Fuck him. So we're doing that. I'll be honest, Daddy's about to piss his pants.
Oh, Daddy.
So, guys, we're going to take a little break, but we'll be right back. Don't you worry. And we're back. Daddy had a good piss.
Nice.
So we're back. It's the people doing the shifts. And we hear, like wolves keep, like, running by, and they're howling all throughout the night.
And dude, like everyone, they keep showing like multiple people like passing out. I feel like as they're
Karth has fallen asleep on his shift, and then lies about falling asleep on his shift when Liam Neeson calls him out on it.
And bro, like, dude, you're not falling asleep, dog. If
I mean, you might. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Karth's also sick, and he's coughing and shit a whole bunch.
True.
The guy from Hurricane takes a piss break during his shift. And while he's doing that, gets attacked and murdered by wolves.
Yep.
And
it's
loud and like a blizzard out there, so you
can't hear anything.
And like realistically, they wouldn't hear it.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. But you would think that. I mean, yeah, that could easily happen. But you would think you wouldn't walk off as it's not. He didn't walk off that far. He really didn't.
He thought he was fine pissing right there.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that part.
Yeah, I didn't really either. I'm just cherry picking.
Yeah,
I guess.
Liam, we don't got time to cherry pick, man. We talked too long about Will Smith and Bruce Willis.
I
Dolphins.
know.
Liam Neeson wakes up and finds Homeboy just dead as fuck.
And they show his face. It's very vivid. Like you literally see his face. I paused it. Like you can literally see the imprints. Like honestly, like they did whatever prosthetics or however they did it a great job because it's realistic as shit.
Yeah, and he's like, they didn't eat him, they just killed him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, maybe we dig in and we make a stand here, or we can head for that tree line over there, and maybe it'll be better, or at least we can defend ourselves more. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the artist's like, yeah, you don't fucking know. He's like, nobody nominated you for shit, by the way. Yeah. He's like, I don't know why you're just making all the decisions. He's like, I'm tired of this fucking, maybe, and I don't know shit. Like, I think we're getting to that point where it's just every man for himself, guys. And the other guys are like, come on, man, what the fuck are you talking? Liam Neeson doesn't really pay attention to him when he does this shit. Mm-hmm. Liam Neeson goes, well, I'm going to head for that tree line. I'm going to grab what I can carry. If you guys want to join me, you can.
So, little fun fact, they're both named John. Liam Neeson.
What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
What?
We find that out later. We don't know either of their first names yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing later where we find out. I mean, you said it, so say your fucking fun fact.
Well, they're both named John, and they're supposed to be like mirrors of each other, which you kind of see right now. You're kind of getting that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize it.
Could have left out the first name. That's a big reveal.
Yeah. But yeah, they're supposed to be opposites, mirrors of each other.
So Karth is packing his bag, and he's in rough shape. He's coughing and stuff. You're like, ugh, that doesn't sound good. Liam Neeson cuts jet fuel out of the side of the jet and puts it in like a thermos thing.
Yeah.
To bring it with him, which cool.
Which is smart.
Cool. And then sees a dead dude next to him and goes in and grabs his wallet and then announces to everybody, hey, we should grab all their wallets and bring them for the families.
It'd be great if Frank, what do you call him, the artist?
The artist.
The artist. If he was like, that's what I was fucking doing. I wasn't robbing him.
He starts talking shit. He's like, it's a waste of fucking time. Yeah, make sure we get the wallets. That's how we should be spending this time.
Which he's right.
We got wolves killing people, but God forbid if we don't get the fucking wallets, guys.
He's 100%
and he's sitting
right.
back. He's drinking out of like mini, because they were on a plane, like mini travel liquors.
And everyone else is getting annoyed at him. They're like, come on, man, you can help us out.
Give us some help. He's like, if you find some rubbers, give them to me, because I don't know how long I'm going to be out here with you fairies. Being like, maybe I'll have to fuck some of you guys because we're going to be out here too long.
Oh, my God.
Liam Neeson finds his gun, but it's garbage. It got fucked up in the plane. It's frozen. He's like
broken into, and it's got snow all in it.
But he brings the shotgun shells.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds the letter to his wife, and he's like, oh. Like, it's emotional, and he brings it. They all start to leave, and then this I call him the other guy the whole time, because I didn't even know he fucking existed until right now. I'm going to be completely honest.
The guy with the glasses?
No. Henrik. The guy with the glasses is the guy from Shameless.
Okay.
He's like, we should say something. We shouldn't just leave all these dead bodies.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know any prayers, but he thanks God for sparing them and asks him he's like, if you can keep that up, that'd be really great. And then they're off.
Yeah.
They're all hiking to the tree line. It's deep snow. It's windy as fuck.
They're literally in like 2-3 foot deep of snow, and it's a literal blizzard again, to where they can barely see shit.
Yeah. It's mostly shot while they're hiking, though. I liked it. It's like from the view of the wolves.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing it from the view of like the wolves are watching them. At least that's the take I got from it.
No, yeah, it was,
I was like,
like
it's
kind
it's
of
well
far,
done how they did it.
Yeah. Wide shots.
Yeah, dude, the loud dude from earlier, he's fallen way behind, and then wolves maul the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson and crew see it, and they're like, oh shit, and they try to go back. The snow's deep, and they like struggle getting there.
Yeah, and this part kind of annoyed me a little bit because it's like, if you guys understand what you're up against, you wouldn't allow someone to fall so far back and like not check, not look until the point to where there's wolves on them, and then it's like, fuck, you guys might as well not even go back if it's taking you that long to get back, and they're being mauled by.
Once the wolves were on him, like, I might be a shitty person, but I would have been like, leave him. Like, what are we? And best case scenario, he lives but is extremely wounded at this point.
And now we have to carry him everywhere. It's going to slow us down. If anything, we should use his time as almost as he's sacrificing so we can get to the tree line.
Yeah, and like that's a shitty way to look at it. Like, so they should have been more of a cohesive unit and closer and in tighter. That's how they should have moved, but they didn't. And like, let's not fuck up again because we fucked up once. Keep moving.
So this is kind of like could be a pretty shitty thought, but I was thinking they should have possibly carried some dead bodies with them, so that if a wolf came and attacked them, you can almost like throw a dead body at them, and they think maybe
it's
they're
not whole bodies, but maybe you chop a body
something,
up,
to where
you're
think
throwing parts at them,
to where you make the wolf think that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, that it hurt someone, killed someone, got some food, did something, and then you're buying yourself some time by doing that. I don't know. That's why I was thinking. Yeah,
there was a cool shot as the loud dude died in the snow, of his blood going on the snow, and then his blood freezing on the snow
into the wolf paw print.
Yeah. I was like, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, and Liam sees it, and he's like, man, this
Liam Neeson, I think, as a fuck you, asked the other dude. He's like, you want to say something now? like just like that. I'm like, oh man, that's fucking dark.
Sheesh.
Yeah, he's like, you want to say anything, or can we keep fucking moving?
Yeah.
It's getting dark, and the whole crew's starting to complain about the fact that they didn't stay. And it's mostly the artists talking shit, but they're all kind of like, man, like, we should have just stayed at the thing. This is bad news. And then the artist goes, what is that? And they look, and all of a sudden, like, 10 wolves are running at them.
Yeah.
Like, making a dead sprint towards that. Like, like, here we go. And then they're like, oh, shit, let's run to the tree line. Run to the tree. But, like, why did they all of it? The wolves have been there the whole time. Yeah. Now they're like, all right, let's go.
Now we can run.
Off. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
But they all run.
I did like the shot, though, so it kind of shows.
That was a cool
like,
shot. It was like the Patriot when Colonel Tavington was like, we're not waiting, let's go. And then we see Colonel Tavington and his boys going out of the field. And Mel Gibson's like, well, fuck, we're way outnumbered. Let's go. Yeah. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Just like that.
It's like hills, and you see the wolves running over them in like synchronicity too. So it's pretty cool to see that they're doing these like hunting tactics in this like wide scale kind of view.
Once they make it to the tree line, and it's clear they're completely surrounded. Like, we just hear wolves from all over the place. So they start. He has everyone like, he's like, let's get a fire. We got to keep them off. The second the fire starts, the wolves are quiet.
Yeah.
And then they start up again, and then we hear one really loud one, and we hear like a whimper, and they're all like, "What the fuck was that?" And Liam Neeson says, "Another wolf just challenged Johnny Truelove, and Johnny Truelove put him in his fucking place."
Put him in his fucking place.
And then Liam Neeson, the way they're like, "So what do we do now?" Liam Neeson goes, "Now." I don't know how he'd, like, process this in his head. He's like, now we have to kill the wolves one by one, like they're doing to us.
Level the playing field.
Kind of just start chopping down their numbers. And, like, how did you make that leap all of a sudden?
Yeah, that...
Like, what changed there to where you're like, now this is what we have to do?
Yeah.
Now that I know the alpha dog's out there... Now we gotta start killing them one by that part didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
it's a fine strategy. I get it. You're like, we need to start killing them too. Like, sure,
no, for sure. And like they build this fire, and dude, you didn't the artist too say say what he like? Oh, what'd you bring us? Like right to their this must be like. Didn't he question whether or not this is their
Maybe
den
they're
kind of
all
thing
they're
or
all
something
talking
like that?
shit.
No,
he
yeah,
talks
yeah.
shit a lot.
Yeah. But you would think that they would build weapons at this point. Like they got the fire, they have a little bit of space. You think, and they have some things like they're like in a like how would you say it? Because like the snow goes down.
They're
and
in
like,
the woods. I don't know.
but they're like in like a little circle spot where they're down beneath everything else that's around them, and it kind of goes up. They have a couple trees around them, and they have this fire. It's almost like their own little pit.
Coliseum.
Yeah, it's like their own little pit kind of thing.
Coliseum.
Coliseum, to where you think you would spend that little bit of time there, not like hours and hours, but you would try to build some type of weapon, sticks, something.
So they did. Okay, I thought you were like, why didn't they do this? I was like, what the fuck's he getting at here?
Well, really, I was going to get to why didn't they? I mean, you could build a fucking shelter, but I was going to get more into that anyway as the scene prolonged.
But so, like, you could build a shelter, but also their goal isn't to be the king of the jungle.
No, for sure.
Their goal is to get the fuck out of there.
For sure. For sure.
They're not building a shelter, but like, this is where we live now.
But
We live off the land.
No, yeah,
this is
not
our
stay
life.
there. But
Like,
this is what I was going to get to, though. But keep going because I don't want to.
So he makes these crazy things with sticks, and he's like sharpen them, and we're gonna put shotgun shells on the
Yeah.
end, and then you'll jab the wolves with this, and it'll go off and kill them. I don't know. It sounded confusing, but it sounded like it makes sense. The artist's like, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not doing this shit. Fuck you. This MacGyver bullshit. And then he throws it, and he's like, goes to the other guy, and he's like, you still got that booze? Give it to me. He's like, we should save the booze. It's not always like, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
He's like, who the fuck are you? Everyone thinks they're the leader of something. You're the leader of the booze. You're the leader of where we go. Fuck all y'all. And Liam Neeson's just like, man, like, you don't need to do all this chest puffing and shit. Like, you're scared, and that's okay. He's like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not scared. Liam Neeson goes, I mean, you're not? He's like, no. He's like, I am. It's like, there's no shame in it. And the guy goes, nah, you're scared because you're a little punk. I don't walk through life with fear in my heart. This guy's like 40, and that's the fucking crazy thing he says. Liam Neeson goes, what'd you learn that in the pen? Someone scribbled that on the day room wall, and you're like, oh, I like that? The artist gets pissed.
Yeah.
The artist, like, he stands up, and the artist is like, he's getting upset, and Liam Neeson goes, you're not scared? He's like, you're a fucking fool. He's like, you know what, worse? You're a liar, because you are scared. And then he stands up, he's like, let's go, bitch. Let's go. I should have dropped you back there. He has a knife. He's like, I'm going to fuck you up. Let's go. And Liam Neeson does not hesitate. Liam Neeson just very calmly stands up. He's like, all right. Shameless goes over, and he's like, come on, man, don't do this. He elbows Shameless in the face. And then, like, he's like, let's go, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, like, kicks a stick. He, like, stomps on it that's in the fire.
Yeah, my bad.
That's in the fire, and it sprays, like, ambers up in the guy's face, and then he tackles him and gets the knife away from him. And he's on top of him.
It's like, didn't Scar do that in Lion King or some shit?
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Scarred to Simba.
Yeah.
And he's like, he has the knife, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't stop this shit. And then we hear a wolf walk up and start growling. And Liam Neeson kind of backs off. It's Johnny True Love Wolf. It's the alpha. And it's like growling at them, getting super close. Liam Neeson like gets up. All the guys gather close, and they have things. And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Get up to the artist. Like, get up and get back here." And the artist kind of slowly gets behind him.
Well, the artist rolls around, looks up, and he's like face to fucking face with the alpha.
So,
and I love this because now you see that he's obviously full of fucking fear.
Yeah.
So it just shows that like
absolutely.
Yeah.
And they all gather close, and eventually Johnny True Love walks away. And the artist asks Liam Neeson, he's like, what do they want? What do they want? It's a fucking crazy question. And Liam Neeson goes, you.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's true, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
Shameless asks the artist to please never do that to him again.
Like a
Because the artist
pussy.
elbowed him and says, like, hey, man, will you please not do that to me again? Liam Neeson walks over to the artist, hands him his knife back, and says, no mas, which no mas is Spanish for no more. Liam Neeson said no mas. Why wouldn't he just say no more?
Yeah.
Or
Like
or hey, cut that shit out.
And the artist, maybe he speaks Spanish, but he's not speaking Spanish in this movie.
Yeah.
So why the fuck?
The artist then says, that was really fucking bullshit of me, guys. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Like, genuine, I'm like, all right, like, fuck it. Like, you got crazy, you're scared, all that shit. You're like, that was bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, we're trying to survive out here. Right as he says that, a wolf just from behind just attacks him into the fire.
Yeah.
It's ripping at him. They all have those things, and they're jabbing it, and they kill it.
Yeah.
It seems like, and then the artist gets on top of it and stabs it.
Just stabs it like millions
6,000 times.
Yeah.
Just da, 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 da. And they're all like, think it's dead. And then he eventually stops. And Karth is like, is that the big one? And Liam Neeson says, no, that's not the Johnny Truelove.
That's an outsider.
It's an Omega. It's an outcast. They sent it in here to test you, artist from Billions. And then he goes, did I fucking pass? Huh? Did I fucking pass? To the wolves. Like,
and all you see is just
screaming at them.
blackness around them, you know?
And we hear a bunch of wolves start going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this would be the most fucking surreal thing to be a part of.
Oh, dude. I probably would not. I probably would do what he's doing right now. I probably would not shut the fuck up to the wolves. Like, if I'm going to get eaten by a wolf, bro, you're going to be annoyed as fuck by me. Like, whether you're a human or a wolf, you're both going to fucking hate me. I'm going to be a piece of shit until I die.
Yeah. And then Liam Neeson would just kill you.
Yeah, and then Liam probably would be
Liam Neeson, like, if this guy didn't turn around, Liam Neeson had to kill him.
Yeah.
All he was bringing the group down. Liam Neeson says they need to get a big branch or stick or something and shove it up that wolf's ass so they can cook it and eat it. So we have now officially established, and like the Johnny Truelove wolf knew when he came down. He's like, okay, Liam Neeson's the alpha of this pack. Like that is established. So there's an alpha wolf of that pack. Liam Neeson is the alpha wolf of this pack.
Yep.
Like they're like, all right.
And they had
you versus me, baby.
What's funny is they had the Omega, the outsider, attack what is essentially their outsider as well.
Yeah, it's like I don't dislike any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
They're eating the wolf, and they're all talking about how it tastes like shit. Karth is coughing and getting really worse. He's been coughing this whole time, but now he's like really bad.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson tells him to sit down, and then the wolves start going fucking crazy. Liam Neeson says they're watching and learning that if you fuck with us, we fuck with you.
Yeah.
It's fucking absurd to say. Who knows this much about wolves to where he's like, they know if they fuck with us, this is what could happen. He's like, they're learning, here we go. It's blood in, blood out, motherfucker. Let's do this shit. It's insane.
Well, I'm sure the wolf definitely picks up on that to a degree.
But it is fucking insane for Liam Neeson to be talking so matter-of-factly like this.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I'm sure if you're in his position, you're going to be active.
The artist then cuts off the wolf's head and, like, stands out in the open holding it. And he's like, you like this, motherfuckers? Huh? You take the head. And then throws the head out into the wolves.
His confidence is just through the roof right now.
And we hear the alpha with the Johnny Truelove just go like a huge fucking growl. And I know this because I had subtitles and it said Johnny Truelove growls. And fucking growled. And then you hear the other wolf start going crazy.
So you see his huge just breath of like icy air going to the fucking into the sky, where you see like the little bit of light, it's like moonlight, and you see like that come from his breath. You don't see the wolf at all, and then you see the other wolves howl, and you just see all of this like what would you call it? Just like breath, like yeah, breath, just like in the air. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, bro. I wish someone just had a rock though. If I just had a rock, I'd throw it at him. Shut the fuck up.
It is now. It's fucking dark out. It's nighttime.
Super dark, and this is the part that
Liam
pisses me
Neeson's
off.
like, all right, we should keep moving. Which I get, like, they're out in the open, don't want to sleep, all that. You have the perimeter fires, like, you might want to stay here.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like
nighttime.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, set up, like, not build, like, a whole hut, but, like, set up a camp here for the night, you know, create some type of boundary, and then when it's morning, one, there's probably going to be less of a blizzard now. because there's a blizzard coming through. I'm sure it's not 24/7, just blizzard. So you're probably going to have better weather in the morning and way more sunlight, more visibility. But no, you're going to grab a couple of branches that have a low, because the gasoline, that's how.
Yeah, he had the jet fuel.
I was just about to say, how do they keep the fire on those sticks like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But still, limited amount of light, and you're walking through pitch blackness where is 20 wolves, and now you're in a line rather than like surrounded by each other.
It's
just
nonsense.
Nonsense.
They're hiking, and Shameless says that he's talking about how wolves are the only animals that seek revenge. I don't.
A tiger is.
Yeah, like I get that's fucking. It's a bizarre. Oh, I'm gonna make this weird statement.
I don't know if that's true,
And-
but for a tiger, it definitely is.
Yeah,
They like they
there
remember.
we go.
Yeah.
There's definitely multiple animals.
Yeah.
Karth is Liam Neeson tells him to shut the fuck up about the wolves. This is great. Karth is so rough.
Yeah.
So rough. Liam Neeson finds a spot. They find a nice spot. They're like their backs up against something.
For how much Karth
So
is
he's
coughing-
he's like the wolves. We got our back there. They can only attack us from the front now.
Yeah.
This is the spot, which I agreed. But you
Yeah.
should hike in the middle of the night to find it. That's
Silly.
fucking risky.
Yeah. And for how much Karth is coughing, I was actually impressed acting wise. Cause I'm like, dude, you're gonna get lightheaded. I actually got lightheaded doing something acting wise where I was supposed to be out of breath, like hyperventilating kind of thing, like, and I got so lightheaded I bumped my head on like a car door, and I ended up with like a huge bump like in the fucking scene on my forehead. But like, dude, if you're a big guy like that and you're up elevation like 10,000 feet and you're constantly coughing and like huffing and puffing, bro, you're lightheaded as fuck. So good for Karth for being able to not pass out during these scenes.
Yeah.
Like, honestly though, like for how much he's coughing, it's
No, I agree.
nonstop, you know?
Absolutely. They're now at the new camp. Shameless is talking about how God saved them. The artist's like, I don't believe in that shit. And Liam Neeson's like, yeah, me neither. Karth wakes up asking if Emma is there and to tell her that he's here.
Oh.
And they're like, he's fucking... The other dude who like was a fucking nobody early and that and all of a sudden now is a very prominent figure in this movie. He knows all about Karth's health issue.
Yeah.
He knows about his family history. He knows everything about everything all of a sudden. You're like, where's this fucking guy been this whole movie?
Yeah.
All he did was be like, can we say a quick prayer about all these dead people? And now he's like, I know everything about him.
Yeah. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Shameless starts talking about his daughter and her hair and how long it is and how she rubs it along his face and how he's the only one that's allowed to cut it.
I think
And-
it
and
was
his, and his fucking bitch wife, his bitch ex-wife. That's the only rule that she's let him uphold.
I think it was around this part when we cut to the beginning of a scene with him, and he's like, he had his glasses off, and he was like wiping them down or something. And there was an entire second where I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he put his glasses back on. I'm like, oh, it's
You're
that,
like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, it's that fucking guy.
Liam Neeson talks about fighting for whatever it is you love. It's supposed to be like an emotional scene. It didn't really grab me. The artist says he wants to get laid one more time because his last piece of ass was a 52-year-old fat hooker Eskimo, and he can't go out like that.
So I'll explain like
You'll explain what he was saying.
No, just like the overall theme of
52-year-old fat hooker Eskimo.
Yeah.
Break that one down.
So they're finding.
Let's get through this whole scene and then we can explain it. Yeah, Liam Neeson talks about his dad. He's like, he's not without love, but he was a cliched Irish motherfucker when he wanted to be. He'd drink, he'd fight, he'd beat us, but he also wrote poems. He's like, and he wrote one poem that I read at his funeral. Once more into the fray, into the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die on this day. Live and die on this day. And Liam Neeson, he sees storm clouds and says, "Ah, shit, there's a blizzard coming. Let's dig in up against the trees. And I'm worried if we lose this fire, we'll freeze to death." End of scene.
Yeah, and so that whole scene was kind of supposed to be about like the meaning of life in an essence, like what is the why? And a lot of people don't have like the why in their life, like the purpose, and then they feel depressed, and then they feel like there's less. And a lot of times, what they're getting to in this scene is The why could just be the fight itself. Fighting the fight itself is kind of like what they're getting to in the scene as to the meaning of life. Like there might not be an exact purpose. There might not be an exact why. It might just be the experience in itself might lead to you seeing what maybe the purpose was or what you needed to the why, the reason. And a lot of times it's just by doing the fight, fighting the fight, going through the experience, just keep living on and keep experiencing, and then you'll get your why. It's kind of like what they're getting to. It's like, don't ever stop. Don't ever like stay just depressed and not looking for your why. Like keep experiencing and you're going to find your why. And like there's always going to be like a purpose if you could just keep going. It's kind of like what they're getting to. Like trying to tell you like everything isn't lost. There's always kind of like a reason, even if you don't see it at that point in time. And it's kind of deep on that level of just being that was like the whole point though of like what they were trying to get by. Even with him trying to say like, I want to like the other John finding his reason, like, oh, I want to live on because
the other John who we don't know his name is John yet.
Yeah.
Just keep putting that out there. So like deep to a degree, but like they didn't
hone in on it as much as you thought that they should.
They didn't do a great job of portraying that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, like I get what they were going for there, but I was like, and I don't know what I would have changed.
I agree with you.
But like they just kind of missed the mark. Like it wasn't as deep or as emotional as I felt like they wanted it to be.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I kind of didn't care, and they kind of broke it up with, I think maybe don't have the 52-year-old fat hooker Eskimo line.
Yeah,
because that takes away from the seriousness of this scene. It's like in real life if like someone's having an uncomfortable talk and like they're uncomfortable, they don't know how to do it, and they make a joke. Like that. It was kind of like that, and like with a movie it doesn't need that.
Exactly.
It was realistic in that sense, but like a movie doesn't have to be that realistic.
And I completely agree, and I think that's the part where they fail was kind of like the writing aspect. I don't know if it was making maybe other characters have more to talk about or just hone in without the joke. I'm not sure, like how you're saying, but
and that's kind of like this movie could have been much better for shit like that.
I think
areas where like I was like, okay, this could be a really deep, meaningful scene, and they just kind of missed the mark with it.
I think they didn't.
They have Karth being all weird and like, Emma, is Emma here? Tell Emma I'm here, because like it wasn't like, oh, that poor guy. I was like, it's this fucking guy's deal. Like
you're 100%
like
right.
That,
there
like,
was definitely some mixed,
and it just took away from what that scene could have been.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
It was fine.
They got a C for that scene.
Yeah, it was fine. That could have been like an awesome scene where you're like, oh shit.
Now I'm ready.
That made the like, let's go into the fucking next act of this film.
Now we're in the third act. Yeah.
Like
I
holy shit,
agree.
let's go. I'm real invested in
it's
all of
it's
these
what they
guys.
were going for, but just didn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the next morning. Blizzard is in full.
No, we're in the blizzard.
Blizzard is in full swing the next morning.
I thought it was still night.
No, it's light out.
Oh, okay.
It's light out, and Karth is dead. Just immediately in the
yeah,
next
they
scene.
jump.
Immediately in the next scene, he's dead. Liam Neeson's screaming and hitting him,
punching him.
He's like, "Don't you fucking die!" And he's way dead.
He's as stiff as a board. He's punching him. He's hurting himself.
And now Blizzard stopped. Fire's going again. Liam Neeson reached in his pocket and remembers, oh, I got that letter that I wrote to my wife. And, like, he flashes back and sees them in bed together, and she says, don't be afraid. Like, looks into his eyes.
So I want to ask you...
If I'm afraid?
Yeah.
So don't spoil anything if you're going to ask me it here.
Well, maybe it is spoiling. I was going to ask you what you think what that means.
So I know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go on later then.
Liam Neeson then gets up without warning. And they're all like, oh, what's he fucking getting up for? Like they go after him, and he notices that there's a stump with like a tag on it that it was cut down, so it's logging. So he's like, okay, we're not like fuck you out there anymore. People have been where we are.
And then they immediately cut to like a view of like them being up on a mountain of some sort, but there's like a crazy just straight drop off on the side of them.
So they don't immediately cut to that.
I was like, it's just like, all right.
They go there. So before they cut to that, the other guy who knew everything about Karth's life and health history, he's like, is that running water? And they all listen in, and they're like, oh shit, it is. and then they're like, let's go towards that, and then they get to that.
My thought was, how'd they get those pieces of equipment way the fuck up there to cut down and carry down the lumber?
That's what they're trying to figure out.
True.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, they're like, okay, people are here. This is accessible.
Yeah.
Let's point. They did not pick the correct way to go.
Thank you.
There has to be another route where those people came from, for sure.
So we're gonna get to this absurdity.
It's a fucking cliff with a huge drop, and there's a tree line, and Liam Neeson goes, all right, well, let's just jump over those trees then. He's like, yeah, no, we'll jump to the trees. And they're all like, we're gonna what? He's like, yeah, no, we're gonna jump across. We're gonna have someone. We're gonna tether some shit together, and someone's gonna hold one end. They're gonna run. They're gonna jump on the trees. We're gonna have the other end tied off here. They'll tie it off there, and then the rest of us will climb across.
It's fucking.
And you're
insane.
like, excuse me?
I would never do this.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I'm gonna face my chances with the wolves.
Yeah,
I didn't come this far to make this ridiculously.
Yeah, I'd be like, Liam, there's no way this is the best way to get through. Also, like you said, how'd they get the shit up here to get the lumber out? They didn't all do this. They weren't like carrying huge logs, being like, "All right, we gotta jump over.
We gotta jump to the tree."
Like, let's find
There's
out where
gotta
they
be a
came
way
from.
that just goes straight down.
Yeah, like, you fucking asshole. Let's figure this out.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be tracks or something that right around there too that leads to the area. But nope.
So they do it, and the other guy, the genius who knows everything about everything, is the guy jumping across.
Yeah.
He runs and he jumps and he hits the tree line, and the line comes undone on their end, and the artist runs and dives and catches it, and like it's fucking snow and ice and shit. Like, it's not all mountain, and like it like collapsed where he is. He would have fallen and died.
And someone
we can agree on that, right?
Oh,
for sure, where it collapsed,
you're falling and dying.
90% of his body was where it collapsed.
Yeah, and then Liam does a diving,
grabs his ankles.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha,
dude. And so then they cut from right there to a shot that shows from the trees to the top of the fucking mountain thing, and there's no way, like, if you saw the shot, that he ran and jumped and ended almost in a straight line to where the tree was. Like, dude, you're dropping so much lower for how far the distance was between the mountain to the tree. Gravity's going to take you. You're going to drop down to like the lower part of the tree or some shit. There's no way you're making it to the top of the tree.
He's like gaining height while he does it.
Yeah, like, it made no sense. I'm like, bro, like, I get it. Maybe you climb back up and tied it, but no, there's no way. There's no way he made that tree the way he did.
No. So the artist climbs across first. And Shameless goes to Liam Neeson, and he's like, you go next. I got this thing with heights. I hate it. Liam Neeson's like, all right, well, then you go next. I'll make sure everything's good. He's like, no, man, just let me collect my thoughts and calm down and go next. Weird vibes with him.
Yeah.
So Liam Neeson climbs across, and while he's doing it, Shameless giving himself a pep talk. He's like, come on, man, you can do it. You can fucking do this. You got this. You're shameless, all right? You fucked Fiona. You were going to marry Fiona. And he starts climbing and kind of quickly looks down, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they're all climbing like this.
Yeah, like that. And
Which is probably the way to do it.
Bro, but when they get onto it, I'm like, man, this seems so ridiculous because, like, the rope drops down immediately, and there's no real.
And it's not all rope. It's a lot of like shirts tied together and stuff. It's
the way that you have to get around it, though. You have to immediately drop, you have to drop because the rope goes down immediately from the cliff point, and so what. You can't get your body around it in an easy way, which means your body weight drops off the cliff and you have to hang on and then bring your legs up over it. Like, it just seems I would never do it. It just seems absurd.
It's the dangerous fucking thing in the world. And obviously he's the third one to climb across.
Yeah.
It's shirts tied together. I don't care how good your knots are, they're gonna start coming loose.
Yeah.
Obviously they do with him.
They're 200-pound men.
He loses his glasses when he looks down, and then the thing comes undone and he falls. And, like, somehow he fell and was also directly over the tree
Makes no sense.
and hit every branch on the tree on his way down.
So when
Like he was out in the middle. He was out in the open. There was
He was in the
nothing there.
middle.
He would have just fallen.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have hit the tree.
You're not
and
gonna-
that added fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Him hitting the tree.
Yeah. And so and that's bullshit, bro. You hit the tree, you go through all these branches, and you fall to your death. And I'm like, dude, the fall was way higher than that. I felt like because we get a view of him like falling through the branches, and I just felt like he was a lot closer to the ground than the shot showed before.
It was a long fall.
Yeah, it was, but like this looked like you're 100 feet up, at least 200 feet up or something. This made it look like he dropped like Shane McMahon 30 feet.
The 200-foot drop that Shane McMahon had. This I thought it felt distance and time wise, it felt accurate.
Okay,
Positioning wise, not at all. He
like
would
how?
not,
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been over the tree.
yeah. Like as if he hanged on to the.
He would have
hung on
fallen
to the,
out of the
yeah,
middle of and just like fell straight
Yeah.
down to the ground.
because of gravity.
Yeah,
But you know,
you wouldn't have flown over to where the tree is 30 feet that way and then started hitting the branches.
yeah,
He hits the ground. He starts coughing up blood, like not like blood, like he's dying. He has
Yeah.
internal bleeding. It's not good.
yeah.
And he sees his daughter, and she does the weird hair thing. Not weird. It's a very. I say weird. It's a very nice, loving thing that he and his daughter had. So she like rubs her hair on his face, and then the wolves come in and just start ripping him apart.
Well, we realized that the hair wasn't his daughter's hair. He was like in shock, and it was actually the wolf's fucking hair.
Yeah, but like you get to have that last moment. Take it.
Yeah, I did like though that they portrayed it as him not having such a shitty moment dying.
Yeah.
You know,
They the wolves drag him away. Liam Neeson and the
They're trying to get
artist
down.
and the other, they're trying to get down. The artist falls from like 10, 15 feet and like fucks his leg up.
the last branch he's hanging on, he drops off, and he drops maybe 4 feet.
No,
Like
no, no,
I'm
no.
talking about from the bottom of his feet, from where he's
So
hanging.
he like dropped off a branch and couldn't grab the branch below him, and then lands on his legs.
I thought he was
it was a
letting go of
decent.
the
It was a
last
decent
branch.
fall. He would have fucked his leg up.
You think?
Yeah,
I felt like he wouldn't.
yeah, for sure.
All right, maybe.
For sure he would have.
But he looks like an athletic kind of guy who'd be able to take that shit too. You know what I'm saying? That's Frank Grillo right there.
I mean, he did. He kept fucking walking after this.
You're right, yeah.
He's not in great shape, but
Yeah.
he didn't stop.
But yeah, he fucked his knee up.
The other guy says, they're not going to let us go, are they? To Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson is just like, what are you going to do?
We've traveled like 50 miles. What are we gonna do?
They keep moving. It's deep snow, and the artist is fucking lagging behind because his leg's all fucked up. They get to the river, and they're hiking on uneven terrain, and then the artist eventually just stops and goes, forget it, man. Whatever I had left in the tank, I used back there.
The first thing he says, I just had the clearest thought.
No.
Right?
Forget it, man. Whatever I had in the tank, I left back there. I just want to sit and stop the bullshit. Liam Neeson tries to get him to keep going, and he said, I don't want to argue anymore. I just want to rest. I just had the clearest thought. I'm done. Yeah, so you're like, that's not good. He sounds very sure that he is done. The other guy is like, no, man, no. There could be a cabin like fucking down the river. Like you have no idea what's down there. He's like, it's a mile away at best. I can't make it a mile. I can't make it 50 feet. I'm fucking done, man. He's not unsure about himself. He's like, I'm fucking done. He's like, I gave it a shot. This is it. And then he takes out his wallet and tosses it to the guy. Because you're collecting wallets to give to the families.
Do you feel like he would just feel like a piece of shit if Liam's like, all right, god damn it, and just like picks him up over his back, he's like, fuck, and just like carries him a mile, and they find like a place?
Yeah, that'd been great. So he asks Liam Neeson about death. He's like, you told the guy from The Departed that it's warm and it slides over you.
Yeah.
And the other guy tells Liam Neeson, he's like, we'll carry him. We're gonna carry him. And the artist is like, I'm not going anywhere, man. My life fucking sucks, all right? I work all day. I drink all night. Look at that view. And we look. It's beautiful. He's on a riverbank. There's like a mountain over in the distance. He's like, I don't see it getting any better than this. Which is fucking sad. It's fucking sad.
Yeah.
The artist goes, my first name's John, by the way.
Oh, John. That's his name?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the other guy goes, my first name's Pete. He's like, Pete, you look like a fucking Pete. And then Liam Neeson says, my first name's John, too. He's like, of course it fucking is. The artist thanks Liam Neeson and wishes him luck. Liam Neeson and the other guy walk away. It's quiet for a minute, and then we start hearing, like, wolves getting close. And the artist goes, I'm not afraid. And he's, like, sitting on a stump. Like, he's accepted.
And then you hear the wolves a little bit more.
Yeah, he's accepted. We don't see him get mauled.
Yeah, you don't see
We
it.
don't hear it aggressively. It just kind of, we hear him creeping up on him.
Yeah.
He accepted death. Liam Neeson and the other guy, they hike about 100 yards, and there's a cabin with a helicopter, and they fly out of there, and the movie's over. It's fucking crazy.
It's like Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah. Like, they're just like, oh, shit, there's a cabin. And they look back, and he's dead, and they're like, all right, well, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's leave.
Yeah. No, they're hiking, and the other guy asked Liam Neeson, he's like, where were we going our last night at camp when you left the bar? And Liam Neeson goes, I was going to work. And he's like, no, you weren't. You worked earlier that day. Where were you going? And Liam Neeson says, did you follow me? And he says, I didn't, but I didn't think I'd ever see you alive again. And, you know, that look you had in your eyes, I've only seen one other time. And that was the artist from Billions back there. So, like, this guy's like, were you going to kill yourself that night when Liam Neeson was going to kill himself? Like, we see a flashback, and that guy's sitting at the bar watching Liam Neeson, super concerned.
Yeah, and then once again, this goes back to them being mirrors of each other. So he was going to commit suicide in the beginning, and now has changed over time compared to the other John, who wasn't suicidal at first, and now technically, I don't want to say suicide, but yeah, technically is.
He was ready to die.
Yeah, exactly.
He accepted death.
Exactly. So they're like the complete opposites, and the big part of that is finding the why. So the John that basically just committed suicide right there, he didn't find the why as to keep living on. He found the why as to not. As to where the other John found the why as to live on or try or what, and to not, So they're complete opposites, and it kind of goes over in a nice example the two ways to kind of think about the why and why to live, why to die kind of thing. So it's a cute little.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I liked
it's
it.
pretty deep.
Liam Neeson says, well, it doesn't matter now, does it? And the guy goes, no, I guess not. And then two wolves come from out of nowhere because I guess now they've decided they're going to, like it just doesn't make sense when it happens all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because they've been following them the entire time, and now all of a sudden two of them are going. Have 20 of them go out.
Exactly.
Just do that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought when I saw the two wolves.
Two of them go out. Liam Neeson and the other guy, they take off running. The other guy falls in the river running from the wolves. Liam Neeson falls in trying to save the other guy. The other guy gets his foot stuck between rocks in the thing, and like he's stuck underwater up against a log. Rather than unwedge the guy's foot, Liam Neeson like yanks on him like and yells, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, literally.
Like, just screams at him. He's yelling, breathe, hold your breath, and then sticks his head underwater and gives rescue breaths underwater.
Yeah.
And screams, hold your breath, what are you doing?
And the guy
he's
keeps
pulling
going,
him up. And so he's dead, obviously, because Liam Neeson didn't really try to help him.
No.
He just panicked and tugged on
He's
him.
sitting there, he's like, God, please don't do this. Don't do this, God.
So that guy's dead.
And then Liam is just...
Yeah, he gets out and goes and like sits on the riverbank, looks up at the sky and says, "Do something, you phony, prick, fraudulent motherfucker. Do something. Come on, prove it. Fuck faith, earn it. Show me, and I'll believe in you till the day I die. I swear, I'm calling on you." And then there's just a long pause, nothing. He goes, "Fuck it. I'll do it myself. All by myself. I stay winning. I can't lose. You can shoot me, but you can't kill me. What a fucking day." Boom. It's not as crazy and over the top. It's pretty similar to that speech, though. Am I wrong? Like it's pretty similar.
That's so funny, dude.
At that point,
that'd be great. I wish Denzel was in this fucking. I just wish it was the dude from Trading Day.
So Liam Neeson's now hiking all alone in the freezing cold, and he's soaking wet.
Yeah.
He would almost for sure freeze to death.
For sure.
Suddenly he stops and gets down on his knees and starts going through all the pics in the guy's wallets. Sees a picture of Shameless and his daughter. He sees the guy from earlier, like the loud guy in the plane, and his mom. He sees the dude from Hurricane and his kid, Karth and his kid, the other guy who just died and his kid. He sees the artist and the 52-year-old fat Eskimo hooker. Not really. It's the artist and like some lady.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And he just kind of looks at all that, and then he looks at the letter to his wife, and he has a moment and realizes he's being surrounded. The wolves are closing in, and he looks around and notices all these animal bones, and he goes, "This is the fucking den." like, are you fucking kidding? Like, what are the fucking odds, man?
I've been moving straight into the den the entire time.
Like, we moved into them. We went the wrong direction. We went the other way, we would have been good. They wouldn't have given a fuck. They're like, why do they keep moving closer? These motherfuckers, what are they doing? We keep killing them. They know we don't like what they're doing. They just keep fucking coming at us. This is crazy.
He literally basically finds himself in the king's throne.
Yeah.
Like, literally in the king's throne. And alpha male is just like, what?
No.
Alpha dog.
Johnny Truelove.
Johnny Truelove. Yeah. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Johnny Truelove is then up on a hill and like looks down at Liam Neeson and he's like, you fucked up. Like,
dude.
What are you like, this is the last place you want to be.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? And the other dogs back up as Johnny Truelove starts to walk in.
Because they know what the fuck's up.
Yeah. Liam Neeson sees the pic of his wife and flashes back to them being in bed again together and her saying, don't be afraid. Only this time it zooms out and we see that it's a hospital bed. So his wife died, and that was like them at the hospital there. She's like, don't be afraid. She's like, I'm going to be fine. She probably said, like, it's going to drift over me. It's going to be warm. She probably said all of that shit that he said to people to calm them down. And you're like, okay, that's nice. Fun fact, I don't know if you have it. The director, the letter Liam Neeson was writing this whole time, the director asked him to write a letter to his actually dead wife.
Damn.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, not to shit on Liam Neeson's mourning process, he doesn't seem as emotional as you would think he would be while he's writing this. Like, knowing that and knowing, for the movie at least, like, he should have been crying writing this letter.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then he folds the letter, kisses her picture, puts them both inside the wallet, and has, like, a nice little setup. He puts the watch on.
Yeah.
And, like, uses it. He has tape. He tapes a knife to one of his hands.
And he puts...
And, like little travel-sized liquor bottles.
Yeah.
And, like, tapes them around his other hand.
Breaks him
against you. Like, here we fucking go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Holy shit, let's fucking do this. He's got broken bottles in between his fingers on one hand. He's got a fucking knife in one hand. Here we fucking go. We hear the poem again. We hear once more into the fray. To the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die on this day. Live and die on this day. Like, we were like, all right, here we fucking go. Here we fucking go. The wolf growls. We hear Johnny Truelove growling.
You see the wolf.
Lisa doing like this. The wolf comes at him, and then the screen goes black and the fucking movie's over. I have never been so fucking upset at the end of a movie. Like, fuck this fucking movie and its fucking face for fucking life. I hate it. Fuck you. This whole movie, we're like, all right, the fucking two alpha dogs are going to go at it, and then in the most badass way, it looks like it's going to happen. Liam Neeson had broken bottles in between his fucking knuckles and a knife, and the knife was taped to his hand so it wasn't coming out. This was going to be the most badass fucking thing ever. And then, like, the end of Rocky 3, it's like Apollo and Rocky go to hit each other, and then the screen just freezes and goes black. fuck you for making this movie. I would have given it a 0. It's a fine movie. It is not a terrible movie. The whole fucking movie is building to that. And they show us that it is going to happen the coolest way it could have possibly happened. And then they don't give it to us.
They definitely should have fought, and they both...
Fuck them.
They both should have died.
Sure.
They
Or
both...
the wolf fucking kills him, or he kills the wolf. Anyway, that fight needed to fucking happen, and you can't tease us. Guys, I've never seen a movie where someone had mini liquor bottles taped to their fucking in between their fingers and then smashed them so they were fucking sharp edges to use as a weapon. I was like, oh, this is going to be the coolest scene in any movie ever. This movie was going to go from getting like a 7 from me to getting a 10. Like, it was about to be the greatest movie ever.
It would have been so much better.
And they fucking ripped that away from us.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I first watched it, too.
It was a fine enough movie up until that to where I couldn't give this movie a ridiculous... I want to give it a 0. Because fuck you for keeping me into this movie that whole time. And then ending it like that.
Let me explain why I think they ended it like that.
I don't care why you think they ended it like that.
Well, there's...
However they did
make
it,
warrant.
however they did it isn't as cool as Liam Neeson fighting the alpha wolf to the death.
Absolutely.
That would have been the greatest thing. Dude, he taped a knife to one hand and many broken liquor bottles in between his fingers on the other hand.
So I'm pretty sure I heard that they were going to do it at first. And I don't know if this is the exact reason, but I thought I heard or read something that they maybe felt like it was going to take away. I know this seems ridiculous, but like what they wanted to do was not make a movie about wolves. Like they didn't want it to be. And bro, once again, they should have done the fight no matter what the fuck I say right now.
What if what they wanted to do was not make a movie about wolves?
They shouldn't have built it up the way they did.
They also all of the fucking the trailers and the commercials. I didn't know there was a plane crash. I didn't know there were other humans involved in this movie until I fucking watched it.
Yeah, the marketing and the...
Yeah, I assumed Liam Neeson was just out in the wilderness by himself fighting wolves this whole movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. It'll be tough to do a podcast on because there won't be any dialogue. But, like, it'll be cool. Liam Neeson makes cool movies.
Yeah. So they should have had it where they fought, but it was supposed to be about kind of like, okay, we know Liam is going to die. And the whole point is about the reason to keep fighting on. And they should have showed the fight regardless. But they didn't want to make the movie more about the wolves. They wanted to make it about this overall meaning that it's like the reason why you fight. And that apparently also what the wife meaning of don't be afraid meant was also apparently to don't be afraid to live. Not to to don't be afraid to die because it was like suicidal. So that's what like some people thought it meant. But apparently it was supposed to mean don't be afraid to live. Like even if that means you're going to die, even if you know you're going to fail, even if you know you're going to die, don't be afraid to take the chance to do the thing to live it.
But also in her exact situation, like don't be afraid to live without me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that too. Yeah. And I completely agree. That's why I said as well to what you said because I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But regardless, bro, even if you're trying to show it with the passion of him trying to kill this fucking creature while we see him get ripped apart.
Don't be afraid to live. Don't be afraid to show what would have been the best scene in this fucking movie.
Thank you, David. Yes,
guys,
exactly.
So much of me wanted to give this movie a fucking 0. That's why in the beginning I said, don't watch this fucking movie.
Because like, built up to get brought down.
Because like I was like, this is an alright movie. And like that scene was about to happen. I was like, it's putting this movie over the top. This movie's going to be up there now if this scene delivers.
Yeah.
And then the amount of rage I felt when it just didn't happen, when they just cut to black without showing that. You can't show me Liam Neeson gear up for what will be the craziest fight I've ever seen in my entire life. Like they're taped to his thing and he just sees a rock and just like hits them and he's like, let's fucking go. You're like my jaw was dropping. I was like, oh my God.
I did, yeah.
I was like, it's gonna be bananas. Let's go. And then black screen. Fuck this movie. It did not deliver on its promises. But Braden, what movie always delivers on the promises it gives?
The Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor, guys. Greatest movie of all time. Eddie Murphy delivers start to finish. He doesn't make promises he can't keep.
That's right.
He promises a great movie, and he fucking gives us a great movie. Mm-hmm. You know what else? I mean, probably makes promises can't keep. Honestly, like I remember this one being good too, but who knows?
Jurassic Park 3.
Jurassic Park 3, Braden's pick. We're getting the third Jurassic Park movie in. I remember this one being good. I also remembered Jurassic Park 2 being good, so I can't wait to have my childhood rocked again.
Yeah, I definitely remember 3 being better than 2.
And you know what? They kept 3 tight.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, tight.
Like 2 was a little over 2 hours, and it did not need to be.
Yeah.
So I like that they're like, let's just knock it out here.
Yeah.
Boom. Do you guys want to watch Jurassic Park 3?
I do.
Before we do a podcast on Jurassic Park 3? You should watch Jurassic Park 3 before we do a podcast on Jurassic Park 3. Here's where you can watch Jurassic Park 3 before we do a podcast on Jurassic Park 3. It's available on Amazon Prime Video for free. For free! It doesn't normally say that. It just says with a subscription. And then it's like, oh, but you gotta rent it for however much money. It's also available on Hulu and HBO Max.
Fuck yeah.
Or you can rent it on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, or Vudu for $3.99.
Look at that.
Guys, Jurassic Park 3. That's what we're doing next week.
Exciting.
We'll be halfway through the Jurassic Park franchise at that point. We'll get into the Jurassic Worlds and Chris Pratt and
fuck yeah.
And what's her name? Jessica Chastain?
Yep.
Is she in it? Yeah.
Yeah, she's a baddie.
Yeah, we'll get into those. Guys, do you want to... So we did the Gray. Who the fuck did... Brianna. Braden's sister, Brianna.
Yeah, that was a little birthday wish from her.
Listener of the podcast, she suggests that we do the Gray.
We did the Gray.
But Braden, let's say like someone out there's listening to this or watching this, and they're like, man, like the Gray sounds like they really shit the bed on that movie, but I enjoyed the podcast on it.
Yeah.
But now I want them to do my favorite movie.
Okay.
Braden, how would they go about asking us to do their favorite movie?
Oh, David, they could just email us at our email, the56kings@gmail.com.
You mean FIVESIXKING at gmail.com?
That's right. Or they could just hit us up at our Instagram, which is the 56 Kings.
You mean at FIVESIXKING on Instagram?
I know.
I mean, guys, it sounds foolish not to send us your film review ideas.
Send them on in.
Send them in. We might do them. We might not. Who the fuck knows? We get some requests sometimes. Not everyone's will get done. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the movie ends without showing you the best part. Sometimes the 5-6 Kings don't do your film. But guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for the support and love, guys.
And Braden, they obviously know where to watch. They're watching us on YouTube right now.
Of course.
They know where to listen. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, fucking Amazon Podcasts, Spotify.
Boom.
All the lists. Except Pandora won't approve us.
Yeah, what the fuck, Pandora?
I can't. It's baffling me. Pandora still won't.
They're just at the lower totem pole.
Yeah, but also, if you listen to podcasts on Pandora, you're a fucking psycho.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
Let's help you. You know, get to a better app.
Go listen to something else.
Yeah.
But Braden, when? They know where, but when do new episodes of the 5-6 Kings drop?
David, every motherfucking Monday.
Every motherfucking Monday?
Every
You mean Memorial Day, Labor Day, Martin Luther King Day, every motherfucking Monday?
Every motherfucking Monday, David. I know.
Well, guys, you heard it here. Every motherfucking Monday, new episodes of the 5-6 Kings. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram at the 5-6 Kings. No, at 5-6 Kings. No, at 5-6 Kings. I love you all very much. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. When niggas get gunned down and left slump, we dumb just for fucking round. This ain't the county for you bitches to come around. Okay, it's 5, 6, 1.